We are live. There we go. What's going on, everybody? I know it's been a long time since your boy O has been live, but I have the need to go live about this situation. As you all know, hashtag recast Wesley Snipes has been growing. And I mean growing out of control here, right? First, it was one or two people talking about it, like myself and maybe a few others. But now everybody's talking about it, baby. Everybody is talking about it. The conversation is a must here because a lot of us feels that Wesley Snipes did not get the proper send off that he deserved with that third Blade film, right? So now we got to see him again in Deadpool and Wolverine, and we were reminded as to how great the guy was. Thus, we want him back. We want him back. Now, I did a video yesterday talking about the poll results on my channel. And oh, wait a minute, we got my boy T Virus up in this thing. But I did a poll result. I did a poll on my channel the other day, and it's just overwhelmingly that of Wesley Snipes. Let's see what my boy T Virus got to say. What's up, T?
Hey, what's going on? Oh, man, happy
What
to see you, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen. I love to go live, man, but with my work schedule, it's hard for me to do so. And today, I said, you know what? I could finally take a day off. I've been working 7 days a week, man, for like the last 6 months or so, dude. Like for real, 7 days a week. I've been going at it, no
Hey,
breaks.
I ain't mad at you, oh, because you know I be watching all your videos. Every
I
time I see it
appreciate
pop
it.
up, I'm like, yep, there go oh right there. So whether I'm doing some chores, whether I'm out and about, I'm clicking and watching the videos. So to me, from my perspective, you ain't really been gone because I've been seeing you
Right.
practically every day.
Right. Practically everything. Yeah, because I make sure I do the videos. I do. I know I got I have two other YouTube channels as well. I got 4K
Right.
TV and New Orleans Sports Media. I haven't been able to upload on those channels in a minute too, man. But I make sure the 4K gets to upload. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
have to. I have to.
Right.
This is what everybody's at. Gotta talk about it. Man, how you feel about recasting T'Challa? I say T'Challa. Wesley Snipes, bro.
I'm telling you right now, sometimes in life when you're in the theater, there's something magical that happens, man, and I call it the wave effect. I'm not sure if you ever heard of this, but it's when
Yeah,
you got a
yeah.
packed theater, right? And it's something to where a moment happens, humans they leave a seat and then they sit back down and something else happens right after that. So you get this wave effect. And I'm telling you, when Wesley Snipes came on that screen, I must have jumped out my seat like a little girl, man. And I just the sunglasses appeared on my face. Oh, that's how happy I
Yeah.
was. I was just like, and mind you, when that happened, it was like one of those moments where everyone was cheering, but then you like try to be quiet because it's like, well, what maybe we need to hear what the character has to say, but it was hard to do that. You didn't want to
Yeah,
be
that's what
quiet.
I said. I couldn't hear what was going on. I'm like, wait, I can't hear. I was like, hi,
Right,
come on, bro. It was like the theater was just, it was just insane. Dude, me and you can agree. Not often do you experience that in the movie
right,
theaters for moments.
hmm
Like you don't get that all of the time. I mean, the last time you really got it was Spider-Man No Way Home.
right.
What that was,
But
2021?
right, but I'll tell
Yeah.
you this, like I went to see this thing like 6 times, and I'm telling you, the pop that Wesley got, like if I were to compare it to what we got in No Way Home, Wesley's was louder. And the reason why
Exactly.
is because when we were watching No Way Home, when we saw Andrew and Toby, it was like, yeah, that was great and all that kind of stuff, but it made sense. But with
Right.
Blade, it's like nobody was expecting that. If you had to bet money, nobody was betting that Blade would, pop up, right? So that's why it hit the way
That's what
it
I
did.
said. Right,
Hmm.
because remember, up to the point of the movie releasing, Wesley was never coming back as Blade.
Right,
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 we
and
was
that.
we was so
Mhm.
interested in Ali's version because remember, my Blade coverage has always been about that of Ali, right? Like every
Right,
Blade
right.
video I upload on my channel was about Ali's version, how they procrastinating, the film may not
Mhm.
never get done. And when you see Wesley Snipes Blade, you say to yourself, maybe this is the damn reason.
It,
This the reason right here. This the
it,
reason
it,
why Ali version can't get off the ground right here. Right
it's
here.
it's 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 Ryan Reynolds cooking. You know, he went up in there. He was like, "Look, Feige, like you've been messing up. You got to let me do this for the fans." And then Kevin's like, "Nah, nah, nah." And then he just kept coming at him with ideas. He's like, "You got to trust me." And then eventually, Feige was like, "Okay, but hopefully this works out the way that you think it will. Because if it doesn't, I'm gonna have to pull back again." And Ryan's like, "Trust me." And Ryan was right. You know what I
It's
mean? Like
gonna work.
he took a risk because Snipes didn't really like him like that back in the day. So that's
Well, that's
another
what they say.
reason. Right, right. That's the going thing. But at the same time though, if you look at those interviews with Wesley, back when they did Trinity, there were two individuals that he just was like, nah, I'm not messing with them. That was Triple H and that was Ryan Reynolds. So you like we ain't gonna never see them in the same room again. But look what happened. Look what
Right.
happened.
Now you got pictures on the internet with them hugging each other on
Right,
the sets, you know. So yeah, man, that's even if there were some kind of beef, that's what human being human is all about, right? Yeah, we can have our differences, right? But sometimes you have to conclude those differences. You know what I'm saying? And they put it to the
right,
side if there was a beef for that of the fans.
right.
That's
And
right.
and that and
The,
that's
the,
and
the
that's where
fans
and
win.
that's yeah, that's hard to do too. And I'm glad they did it. Oh, I was happy, man. Telling you.
Right. And look at the feedback here. The reason why I wanted to do this live stream, man, because let's pull this up. Man, look at this poll, brother. Look at this poll. 3,000 votes now. 94% Wesley, 6% Ali. And Ali got two damn Oscars. Ali has two Oscars. And Wesley sitting up there looking all cool at the top. And it's like people want that. They want
Right,
that. They want
right.
what they're familiar with. You feel what I'm
Yep.
saying? This
Hmm.
guy here said, leave me, I believe that's his name. He says, Snipes is done. Get over it. As I said before, man, that's what they said up to the release of the film. He also came back with tired of your spam videos just because Ryan's yapping don't matter. He doesn't control anything. That boy say spam videos, and I just showed him 3,000 damn votes.
That's
Damn.
funny. Cause the last time I checked, I'm gonna be real right now. Oh, and I'm gonna be a little respectful. I'm gonna say it like this. The human that's saying that is silly because ain't no spam video getting you thousands of subs. It don't work like that.
Yeah. It don't
It
work.
don't work
And
like that.
views. And the subs, yeah, don't get me wrong. The subs, I appreciate them just as much as I appreciate the views too. Man, the 4KO was never getting 10, 20, 30,000 views on the video, man. This is the conversation. I'm not the only person trying to have this conversation. Many
Oh
people
no.
are. I'm doing numbers on this channel that I ain't never even dreamed of. Yeah, I was just asking you
Exactly.
guys for 3,000 subs before the end of the year. And here it is, I'm pushing 10. Yeah, I'm about 2,000 and something away, but I'm pushing 10. This ain't no damn
Oh,
spam videos.
you
This the truth. This the
right.
truth. The
And
4KO speaks
oh
facts.
and oh I was man, I remember, way back when I was telling you, man, you gonna blow up, man. It's coming. And I always believed in you, man. I was like,
Oh
you gonna
yeah,
hit
you
those
said it.
numbers. And you did, man. So I'm happy about that too.
Right, right. Henry Carver said, "Oh, it's just expressing his views and reporting the news, as I always have done, Henry. Thank you, Henry. On this channel, I give you guys my opinion, but I give you guys my opinion on the news. You know,
Right,
you can't stop the news from happening. I ain't creating it. I ain't creating it at all. It is what it is. It is what it
right,
is. Like if a film flops that I like, I tell you guys right all back, man, it flopped. Like my Hellboy video, the reboot, it was like, look, I like the film, but it flopped. You know what I'm saying? That's the
right.
truth. That's the
And
truth.
and
I
I mean,
can't believe it.
and that's the thing, right? Because even if it's something where you have a theory or an opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. Like it's like humans forget that it's okay to do that. You know what I mean? It's just they get so sidetracked and tunnel vision with what they want that everything else is a crime, and that don't make no sense to me.
That don't make no sense. Just like I just said, before Wesley showed up in Deadpool and Wolverine, my reporting was always regarding that of Ali's version. You know that, T Virus. You know that.
Mhm.
It was always Ali. Ali. Wesley wasn't even in the picture.
No,
What? He wasn't even in the picture.
I wanted him to be O. I definitely wanted him to be, but he was
Right,
not.
but it
And
wasn't a conversation. It wasn't a
right,
conversation we was having. It was
right.
look, Ali. I was mad at Marvel Studios for not even getting the damn film off the ground. Just what, 2 months ago, what it was, I cussed Marvel out. Then now you watch that video, I might have said
Mhm, yep.
32 different cuss words in that video.
Hey,
That
hey,
showed it did. I get him the whole vocabulary, stuttering
it,
style.
yeah,
That's what
right.
I
And
did.
I hit him. I hit him with the whole dictionary and a couple of nukes. Because at first, because this thing is like 5 years now, going on six. Like the first 2 years, I was like, yeah, this gonna be cool. It's been too long. And then after that,
Mm-hmm.
I stopped caring. Oh, I was like, I'm tired of playing these games. They don't care about it. So I don't care about it either.
But it's like that chick that you met back in high school. Y'all keep
Hmm.
talking about sex. Every time you get on a conversation about sex, you think it's gonna happen. The moment you walk into the room, she ain't even trying to open her legs. Her legs broke all of a sudden. You ain't about to
Right,
keep playing them games. You gonna go on to the next female.
right.
At
She
least
got
that's how
all these
I used to do it.
excuses. Right, all the
Look,
excuses in the world.
I used to replace them. I ain't used to chase them. It was like, look, the legs ain't open. Okay, somebody else gonna do it. That's the type of
Exactly.
situation we have right now.
Right.
Right there.
That's perfect too, because that's what it is. It's like, all right, so what's gonna happen? Oh, tomorrow or soon. Okay, for sure tomorrow or sure tonight. And it's like, all right, you playing games now. The
You playing
excitement is
too many
gone,
games.
and it's time for me to move on. You know what I mean? So you can play games, but you can't play them with me. That's how it's gonna
You
be.
can't play. You can't play it with me. Nah. Hell no. Hell no. Not especially when they got another route I can take. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like I can take a whole different route. I ain't gotta walk in this room with you. I can go in and go about
right,
my business. There's too much
right.
going on. And not
And
to
that's
mention,
that's a dangerous thing.
he talking about I'm spamming hashtag recast Wesley Snipes. Look, I accept the granddadiness of that. That's right. That's my thing. I'm going to keep on doing it. You got a problem with it? You don't even have to watch these damn videos because somebody else will. That's how I feel.
Right,
But while you're sitting up here talking about I'm spamming, you need to be asking Marvel Studios why Ali's version wasn't at Comic Con. You need to be asking
right,
Marvel Studios why Ali's version had no mention at X23. Where
right.
he at? Where he
They
at?
ain't
Oh, you know
they
what?
ain't
He
they ain't
filming
they ain't even got
Jurassic
a
Park.
script. No script. It's like
Come on.
I don't go to conventions like that, but I would have stood up, raised my hand like, look, Kevin, I want to ask you a question. So you announcing all this stuff for the next 7 years, but for some reason you don't have a script for Blade and you keep giving us the runaround. I'm like, you playing games out here. How about you just tell us that you canceled it? That then I'll feel better because at least I won't be getting
When
jerked around.
you announced Fantastic Four years after Blade, just early this year, Fantastic Four already filming.
Yo, see,
Fantastic Four already filming.
they got
They even gave us a teaser for Fantastic Four at Comic Con and at X23.
right. Yeah,
Already filming.
they rushed that one. We didn't hear no problems about they couldn't find no costumes, they couldn't find no
No
writers, no
script.
directors.
Ain't even lost the actor yet. They
Right,
ain't lost the
right,
actor yet. They ain't lost the writer. They ain't lost the director. They ain't lost nobody. They halfway
right,
done. Shit,
right,
Superman Legacy was announced years after Blade, and here it is. That's going to be
right.
released, and not damn Blade.
It's
Oh,
not only is it already done, we didn't seen set photos, we didn't seen like a whole logo. It's like
come on, man.
everything in the world is done.
Everything in the world working but Blade. That's the only thing they ain't working. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. Somebody lied to me, bro. Somebody lied to me. Bobby Williams said That fool said he read half the script. I'm a Deadpool interview. Wait, I'm a Deadpool interview. Shaking my head. Damn shame. It's scrapped. Exactly. It's scrapped, man. Michael Kincher said, bring back Snipes. And we also got Hustler King Vivo. Hashtag bring back Snipes. See, this ain't no damn spamming. What is he talking about? You know what?
Mhm.
Maybe, just maybe, the guy doesn't smoke weed. You know, he smoked the harder stuff. You know, the stuff that you got to whip up into the kitchen. You know what I'm saying, and let it cool
Right,
off and cut it into blocks. You know what I'm saying? That's maybe what he's
right.
smoking because he damn sure ain't smoking the weed. Because
You
not
know,
even weed have you thinking that damn stupid.
you know what he is smoking though. It's called denial, and that's
The,
stronger than
the,
any drug right there. Denial, that's gonna
the,
really hit you.
oh man, the now have people hang themselves, man. You better look at Jeffrey Epstein. Shit, live your truth. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. That's it. He
Yep.
said, "Oh, okay." He coming back now. He said, "Snipes is done. Stop coping." All right, all right. Did you
Mm.
watch Deadpool and Wolverine? No, maybe he missed that film. You know, he was done 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, month ago, year ago. In fact, Wesley Snipes even made comments on the Blade film. You know how they was procrastinating on it, didn't he? Yeah, I did a video about that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, he
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
did. He
Yes,
did
he did.
multiple
Yes, he
times. Yeah.
did. Yes, he did multiple times. And not one time did he ever say he was in the damn film. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Yeah, so you
In
don't
fact,
know.
he specifically said, "Oh, that like no, they haven't approached me. You know, they moving forward with a new one." That's what he said.
That, that's what I heard too. That's why it wasn't even a conversation before
Right.
Deadpool and Wolverine. Trust me,
Right.
man. This ain't no spamming. This is what's going on around you. And many people
Yeah,
don't know
we,
how to
we,
pay
we know
attention to that.
we know what's up. You know, there's always gonna be you know, those silly humans that, you know, if you don't have their perspective, they're like, oh, you're spamming, you're capping, whatever, whatever. I'm like, nah, that's not what it is because again, when it's spamming, you don't have thousands and thousands and thousands in agreements. That's just not how spam works.
Yeah, right. Spam is spam. He probably don't have an email. But that's why they separate the spam, you know what I'm saying, from your
Right.
actual email letters because the spam is something that you just don't want to see. He don't get
Exactly.
it, man. He doesn't get it. And not to mention, while you talking all that crap, he still ain't acknowledged the damn poll. I mean, let me guess, he's part of that 6%, right? I guess, bro.
Yeah,
I
that gotta
guess.
be. Cause you know, cause I
Yeah.
guess polls are spam too. When you ask people what they want, they tell you. That's like being somewhere in an arena and everybody's, you know, cheering and whatever. You ask them, hey, you guys want, you know, this pick for the team or that pick, and they tell you, and then everybody clearly votes for, you know, one team more than the other. And then you got somebody that's unhappy with it going, oh, that's spam right there. It's like, no, that's votes, excitement, anticipation, you know, the want, the
Feedback,
need.
baby. That's feedback. That's all that is. That's feedback. That's why the guy asked me do a poll because I told you guys I didn't even give myself credit to even think about it. A subscriber commented and said, "Man, do a poll." I guess they wanted to see how everybody felt as well, and I put it up and shit. In 4 hours, it had 600 votes, and I believe by the end of the day, it had like 1,000 votes, and it's like 2 days old. It's already 3,000 votes. That's feedback.
Right.
That's
That's
all that is.
definitely
That's
feedback.
feedback.
Right. That's
That's
definitely
feedback.
feedback.
SM07 007. That boy got 007. Based on fan reactions, it only makes sense. And it's only going to make dollars, so it's going to make sense. Bam. Wesley is Blade and needs one last outing, a great one, to close out his Blade. And that's how people feel. That's how
Yep.
people feel. People want to see a modern take with Wesley's Blade. And for those out there saying that the man's too old, bro, you know how many actors in Hollywood are playing roles that they're just too damn old for. I made the example of Harrison Ford as General Ross. That man's too
Right.
damn old. Harrison Ford, 105, man.
Yep.
He 105.
He's 10 times the age of the MCU, but nobody's saying
That's
nothing
what I'm
about
trying to
it.
say. That's what I'm saying. You got Robert Downey Jr., what, 3 years younger than Wesley? You also have somebody else mentioned another one. You got Sylvester Stallone.
Hmm.
Who else playing action roles, man? Liam Neeson. Yeah, you got plenty of people still playing
Yep,
action roles.
Arnold. I mean, Arnold is
Arnold. Arnold was still
man.
doing it. Yes, he was.
Man,
Was.
see,
Arnold,
Arnold and
Arnold is still
Stallone
doing
and them are so old that they were lifting weights and doing push-ups 30 years before I was born. That's how old they are.
it. Right, right, right. And then you also have to realize something. Action stars will always be that. That's what
Right,
made them famous. And
right.
Wesley is certainly an action star. Passion to
Absolutely. He's
57.
a
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
come on, man. This man was
yeah.
fantastic.
Did
Real.
you see the way he did the because when they got out of that car, right? You see all six of them lined up, X-23, Electra, Gambit, Blade, all of them, right? When they got out, I
Right.
was like, that's a badass team right there. Like, if the Avengers showed up, I'm like, they all dead. The only one that's gonna be left is the Hulk. Because I was like, ain't nobody getting through them all. And when
Man,
when he
look,
was there, I said to myself in my head, I was like, please let him fight Azazel, Nightcrawler father. I was like, if you can give
yeah,
me that. And that's what happened. That's what
and
happened.
that's
He
what
jumped in the
happened.
air and kicked
That's
him.
what
I was like,
happened.
man,
That's what happened. That's what
yeah,
happened exactly because they don't realize Blade's still fast, baby. He can
yep,
teleport. Blade's a
right.
vampire. The man can
He's
move.
right. He didn't kick Azazel so hard that Azazel, when he teleported, he didn't even know where he was. That's how hard he got kicked by Blade.
Talk about the one handed shot in the back.
Right.
When he put his hand,
Yeah.
he just threw his hand back up, pop, 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 pop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
on, man, you can
Perfect.
get this
Perfect
done.
hits. Right.
He
Even with
said Blade. He says
go ahead.
Blade. He always said Blade's a dampier, which he is. But one thing we have to acknowledge is Blade Trinity. Drake told Blade that he can possibly be as powerful as he is.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
And
He did tell him
yes.
that. He said that's why he's the new vampire. That's he said.
Right.
My species has been looking for a new vampire this whole time. He right here in front of you, right
Right.
here.
And
Man,
and,
you
and
stood
then
over
and
with me.
right. And then okay, so see this is where it's interesting to me because some humans they don't be paying attention though. I was like in the comics and even in the movies, if you just want to stick with the movies, he defeated vampires that were supposedly better than him.
And
He
older.
whooped them all. He whooped them all.
Exactly, exactly. And the only reason why he really had trouble with Nomac because you have to realize he also had to make sure Nomac didn't bite him. So that was a
Exactly.
little troubling for him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because he doesn't know what would happen to him if he got the Reaper virus in him. So yeah, man, I
Exactly.
know Blade. I know Blade.
Yeah.
I know Blade.
Yeah.
You can't
And,
tell me
and
nothing
no
about
and
Blade.
no
I know
Mac is right. And no Mac was built different too. Like he was a
Blade.
martial
Right.
artist out here. You know what
Right,
I
right. His heart was encased in bone. You only had to
mean?
hit it on a certain angle in order to get it. So he wasn't as fragile, I would say, as other vampires, which is why
Right.
Blade had to figure out a different way to beat him. He wasn't as
Yep.
fragile as him. And not to
That's
mention,
right.
Nomac was fast, he was stronger, and everything, and Blade still walked away from that. Then he got the
Right.
ultimate test with Drake. Like Drake was
Right.
just slinging him around. Bow, bow, bow. You know what I'm saying? Picking him up.
Yep.
Drake even had to transform to beat Blade. Like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh
Yeah.
no. He's getting
See.
one up on me. I gotta go for it all out. Straight up.
Right. Yeah,
That's
see,
right.
Dracula didn't hit him with that Dragon Ball Z transformation. Blade was like, all right, I gotta finish him now. Like
I
he
got
gotta take him out.
50. And he went straight on Freezer final form,
Right,
huh?
right,
No, no, he said your boy said Bonkai. That's what he did. He whipped out that Bonkai on him. And he was like, this ain't gonna work. I need to transform. I need to show
yeah,
y'all what I look like to beat this dude. So Blade is very powerful. He really is.
right,
He really is. We got wait, Lonzo Shuki said a man started the MCU. He's supposed to be on the Mount Rushmore of MCU. He is. He
yeah,
is. Trust me, baby. He is. He is. That's what we hold him at. Blade will always be up there. And they got a lot of people who doesn't want to give him credit. That's why I had to make that video to show you how Blade saved Marvel asses. If it wasn't
yep,
for that first Blade film, they stock would have never risen to a high enough point for
right,
Disney to purchase them.
right. And
That was it.
I've been telling humans that for decades. I was like, look here. If you don't like Blade, that's cool. But what we not gonna do is not respect him, because without him, there ain't no Hugh Jackman, there ain't no Toby, and there ain't no Robert
It ain't
Downey
no
Jr.
way.
We would have never gotten to that. Never.
Studios is ready to give up on comic book movies, man. That's what they
Yep.
understand. They were done. They were
Yep.
done. You had Batman and Robin, then you had
Right.
Steel, which is like
Right.
I told you, a guilty pleasure of mine. And you had Spawn. Spawn was great, but it flopped. So you had like 3 flops in a row. And don't forget, Batman Forever didn't make a lot of money neither. So you
Right.
had potentially 4 flops in a row. Studios was
Right.
ready to give up on it. They was about to say, you know what, this is a genre we don't even want to touch it. The Blade came out, bam. Okay, yeah, we could do something with this. And guess what you got after that? Spider-Man.
Yep.
That's what
X
you got
Men.
after that.
Yep.
You
You
got
just.
X-Men. You just
Hmm.
kept on going. You even had Superman Returns come out, 7 years after that? Seven,
Right.
8 years after that. Studios
Right.
are okay, we can make money after. That's what we're trying to say when we say Blade saved Marvel Studios. In fact, he saved the entire comic book movie genre because even before then, you also had the previous Superman films. People
Right.
act like they forget about Superman 3 and Superman 4. All of
Right.
that flopped. So they had like
Right.
8 in a row. I
Right.
mean, come
Right.
on.
Because
Come
because
on.
because before that, because you had Superman 1 and 2, right, and then you had 89. But if you look at all the
Right.
other stuff, it wasn't hitting like those three. Like those three were the
And
Mount
Batman
Rushmore.
Returns. And Batman Returns.
Right. Right. Batman Returns was
Right.
another
They,
one.
they, they were
But
hit. They were hidden.
they
Right.
were, but the only reason why I don't say Batman Returns as much is because that's when the divide started. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
once the
Yeah.
divide started, then it just kind of kept going downhill from there. So once you do that divide, then it's hard to get that other part of the audience back once you then sent them away for whatever reason.
Hey, we got somebody saying this is computer blah. However you say it. Blade versus Morpheus. Oh, you must mean Morbius. Talking about Jared
Yeah, yeah,
Leto's
yeah,
Morbius.
yeah, yeah.
So
Oh,
some
oh
people
no, no,
said
no.
that too. Yeah,
Oh
some
my
people
God, we
said
don't want
that
to see
too.
no, we don't want to see him versus Jared Leto. Now, if it's the one from the comic, yeah, but the Jared Leto one,
Yeah.
he would get killed in like what 2 seconds? Like that wouldn't be no fight.
Yeah, they play. They better put some respect on Blade name while they talking shit. Blade the
Right.
man, bro. Blade will always be the man, and that's why the
Yep.
support keeps growing. You know what I'm saying? He
Yep.
talking about spamming. Boy, you just don't know. You made my day with that one. I would have never thought someone would say the word spamming on a conversation that everybody is having. Damn.
Right. I'm like you don't understand the meaning of that word to say that. I'm like that's
Nah,
not how
nah.
spam works.
Nah, he act like I'm a Jehovah Witness or something, knocking at people's doors or something. Hell no, nigga. I'm uploading a video and people responding to it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's just it. That's just it. You just got to sit back and watch, bro. You got to sit back
Yep.
and watch it. Just give me an
Should I?
update on Ali's version. And I tell you
Should
what,
I?
and I tell you what, when I get some news regarding Ali's version again, I'll make a video.
Of course. Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
I make a video. Guess what? I'm Googling Blade every day. Nothing. Not nothing. The
Yep.
only thing I'm seeing is Wesley. that's,
Yep. We ain't saying no Ali.
all, that's all I'm seeing, bro. It's Wesley. That's it. We got Lorenzo saying Blade versus Twilight Vampires. Laughing my ass off. They done.
Wow.
That's the
That'd be funny.
they done.
That is.
They
Oh, do you
the
do
only
okay? First
vampire
of
hunter
all,
I would say could possibly match that of Blade is D. You guys watch that anime Vampire Hunter D?
oh yeah, yeah. I remember that when I was a kid. It's been a minute
Or
since I.
right,
Yeah,
or Alucard from what was the other one, man? Hellsing, I believe that's the name of it.
yeah.
Now those are some vampires. Oh, and Drake. We already said Drake early in this video.
Right,
But now
right.
those are some vampires that you could say is on Blades level. Like, yeah,
Hey, you
yeah, they
know
got
who
a
else?
lot going on.
You know who else? The vampires from the originals. That show, the originals.
Oh yeah, you talking
With
about Klaus and all them?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, Klaus,
that's a badass
Elijah.
dude
Yeah,
there.
yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. We watched that. Me and my wife always watched
Hmm.
that. We was mad when
Yep.
they canceled it. We surely was. We was mad when they came. Man, I used to love the originals. The original,
Hmm.
not the one I didn't like to watch was Vampire Diaries. I didn't like to watch Vampire.
I did like that one, but not as much as the originals. Because remember, oh, and you know, like without Vampire Diaries, we wouldn't have got the originals. And the
Right,
originals,
right.
you know,
Because the
so
originals was introduced into that. Right,
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 yeah,
right. I remember that. Yeah, but my wife loved Vampire Diaries, dude. I swear. I come home sometime, I'd be like, man, I wish they delete this from the platform, man. Because it's too childish for me. Now, originals, it's on some adult shit, man. You know what I'm
oh,
saying?
oh yeah,
But
they be ripping hearts out, and necks be getting
yeah,
snapped,
boom,
and
boom.
just
Yeah, man,
yeah,
Klaus a fool. Klaus is a fool. I love me some Klaus, man.
yeah. And they was almost invincible. It was only that white oak stake that you could take them out with, and they only had 3 pieces of that. And then remember, the family destroyed all that, so they was like, "Yeah, you're not gonna be able
Right,
to get us no more."
right, right. Oh, and then don't forget his dad, Michael. Michael could tell
Oh,
some
oh
shit
yeah,
up
the
too.
one. Okay, I remember when you know I was watching it with the friends, and then I rewatched it with the brother and everything. And I remember as soon as we heard the name, and Klaus was scared. I was like, oh, do you know how badass somebody have to be to scare Klaus? Like for Klaus to be shaking in his boots.
Yeah, well, he ran out the room, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he
He's like,
did. He heard his daddy name. He said, "Phew, I gotta go." Where he at? He here? Oh no! Oh no! I don't want none of that smoke.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but those type of vampires, and maybe Celine as well from the Underworld franchise, which
Yeah,
I feel that
she
we
was
need
dope.
another.
She was dope. Yep, I
Right, we
like
need another
Celine.
another Underworld, baby. I mean, where is that?
You know what? Oh, I would agree with you, but that last one was so bad, man, that like
Yeah,
I'm just like kind of chilling on the fence about them. I don't know, man. It might
that
get
was
worse.
Blood Wars, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, that one.
Oh yeah, yeah, they killed
That would,
that one. But Rise
yeah.
of the Lycans was my best one. I love that one.
Oh, I like that one. I like them all
That was
except for
fine.
the last one. That one, I don't know what happened there, but
Cash grab, the studios they do that time to time, bro. It's like,
right,
oh, we got this franchise and we can do it for cheap. Let's see how it play out, and so on and so forth. But they should have never did it. Sometimes you can ruin something by trying to extend it.
right.
You
When
know
you
what I'm
don't put the
saying? Like
same level of passion and care into the product.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. Which is what's going on with Ali's version of Blade. They're not putting the same passion or level of care. That's why it needs to be in the hands of Ryan Reynolds. You know what I'm saying? You get a T
Right.
virus, you know what it means,
Yep.
baby. You
Let him
know.
like he kept saying, let him cook. It's like, how about you let Ryan Reynolds? Like, if y'all don't want to make it, let Ryan Reynolds direct it. I bet you he will. Just let him
And I
do it.
bet you'll get it in 8 months.
Right. He'll get it in
you,
under a year, and then he'll be talking about
you'll
like,
get
man,
it. You
look
gonna
at
get
this.
it.
Look
You
at
gonna get it.
this.
He must don't know the history of how Deadpool itself got made.
Right.
Ryan Reynolds leaked that little thing with him talking and all that fighting, and people wanted it. The
Yep.
feedback on that thing was positive. It led to a $750 million worldwide film without that of China.
Right. It blew up. It was everywhere. That few minutes that he did, and everybody was like, "Hey, can we get a 2 hour movie? Can is that
Yeah,
possible?"
right. And I was so pissed off back then because they invited me to watch the film at my
Mm.
local movie
Yep.
theater. And I stood in
Yeah.
line for a whole hour. I got to the front of the line, dude. I swear to you, they had one guy in front of me. They let him in. They got to me and said that they were full. Then they tried to offer me some other damn movie. I stormed out there. I was mad, but I was like, bro, I won't fight somebody.
You
I,
know
I
what?
ain't gonna
Oh,
lie to you.
this might sound really bad, like especially for the listeners, but in that situation, if something violent happens, there needs to be a mass understanding of why that happened, that you trying to see something, and they're like, you know what? How about the three little pigs instead? It's like that's not what I'm here for.
Dang, what I'm here for? You think I'm about to stand in line all this time and I want to go see the Three Little Pigs? No, no, I
Dog,
don't
what if
care if
we
it's a
throw in
free
a free
movie.
drink? I'm like, I don't care if
Yeah,
you throw in a free buffet. I'm trying to see this movie.
I'm trying to see the movie. They offered me a free large popcorn, a free large drink, and all that. There, I said, y'all don't even have the decency to offer me a hot dog. That's how I
Right.
felt. That's how I felt. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
I left up out of there, man. The drink ain't cost you no money, and the hot dog, the popcorn not. Well, you couldn't even give me a hot dog? No, I'm done.
Right.
I'm done. I'm out of here.
And then to be so close and to have it snatched away from you, that's another thing. You were like, I was right there, you know? Oh,
And I could sneak in because they had the damn theater count.
right, right.
Yeah, so that was very frustrating to me. Me and my wife was together too, and I blamed her because I kept telling her, "Come on, come on, come on, we gotta go. Let's go, let's go." She's saying, "I'm coming. Give me 10 minutes." So, got there. I told her, "If you would have just came when I told you, we would have
Yep.
been in here."
We
Because
would have
while
made
we
it.
was walking up, I saw at least 20 more people get in front of us.
Right.
So you
Yep.
better watch. The women are here. You late for everything. Are
Yeah.
late for everything.
Ten
I get
minutes
on
is
her now.
never 10 minutes. It ain't.
Exactly. I get on her now when it's time to go to the movies because where we go is a little distance from us now. Because when we bought our house, like what I would say about 15 miles away from where we go to the movies, and
Okay.
now we have to leave. Yeah, we gotta leave. Now before we was on the same street as the movie.
Oh,
Right?
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just
We
walk
stayed
up.
on
Yep.
this little strip, man. Yeah, out here they got it's called Metairie, right? And dude, they got everything right there. They got Target, they got the movies, they got Zills, they got goddamn Five Guys, they got Chipotle, they got the mall, they got all that on one little strip right there. Little busy area. So yeah, we used to live around there for our first what 7, 8 years of our relationship. Now we where
Okay.
we at now. We had to get up from around there. Oh, he
Okay.
said, Mike said StreamYard link. I put it in there, Mike. Hold on. Let me put it in there again. Yeah, Mike, I do open live streams, baby. It's right there again. Let's see, right there. Talk about, yeah, man, but let's get back to the support because I know we getting off topic here like every live stream. But the support for Wesley Snipes continues to grow, and eventually it will be at a level to a point to they ain't gonna be able to return. Now, here come Mike right here. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, brother, how you guys doing?
How you
Hey.
doing? How you
Okay.
doing, Mike?
Okay. Okay.
Hey, so I discovered your content maybe a few days ago. You have another channel, right?
Yeah, I have another one, 4K TV, and I also have a sports channel for my Saints and my Pelicans called New Orleans Sports Media.
Oh, okay, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I'm not sure which channel I originally discovered, but I think it was your Blade content, your MCU related content you did recently.
Yeah, that was this one.
Yeah, man, and I definitely saw the poll and participated in it, and yeah, I had no idea that it reached those thousands of numbers of entries. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. The first day I put it up, it was only what 600, and believe it or not, I thought that's how high as it's going to go. That's what I thought. Next thing you know, I take a shower later that day, pour my drink. You know what I'm saying? Sit back, relax, and I look. It was at 1K. I said, "Oh, that's pretty interesting." Woke up the next morning, 2K. Now here it is, 3K, and it continues to rise. It continues to rise. The support is overwhelming, dude. Like I would have never thought that this conversation will be a thing 3 weeks ago. I don't know about you, you know what I'm saying, T and Mike. I don't know, but I didn't think that
I,
this was going to be a conversation.
See,
I didn't. I didn't
I
blame
kind of
you. I did.
anticipated it. I'm also in media, and you have to realize that, black folks, black culture, we really set the trend. And even when Marshala got announced as Blade, we was like, oh, cool, they doing Blade again, but
Mm-hmm.
what's going on with Wesley? And it always didn't sit right with our community, the false rumors and them trying to demonize him and blacklist him and make him seem like he was some huge problem. They even came out with blog articles suggesting that he sexually assaulted Jessica Biel.
Right. All kind of trying to
I'm
put
like,
dirt on
what?
that man's name. I addressed
Yeah,
that
that
too.
and
What?
that didn't happen because she spoke about that. That didn't happen.
Exactly. So if anybody hasn't seen it, there's a great Vlad TV interview that he does with Michael J. White, because Michael J. White is cool with Wesley Snipes, and they're over, at each other's house all the time and stuff. And Michael J. White was just speaking about the fact that they straight up try to steal his movie. Apparently, in the press leading up to the release of the movie of Blade 3, they were even doing posters where it would just have Ryan Reynolds or just have Jessica Biel and it'd say Blade on it. So, through marketing and other methods, they were literally trying to exclude him from his movie and take it away from him and give it to, these up and coming Caucasian actors, if we're just going to call a spade a spade. And most of the things that really made Blade successful were things that were embedded in our culture, whether it was his euphemisms, his mannerisms, the way he dressed. It was very 90s centric. And even when we had that female, I forget her name, in the first Blade movie, she played a good role as a leading co-star. We saw her
Right.
kicking ass and throwing down, and it wasn't on no cheesy what's her name, Charlize Theron, who's a skinny little 120-pound
Yeah.
chick beating up grown men. No, it was actually believable.
Basically, it wasn't
Hey,
no agenda. It made sense with the story.
Yeah.
well, but see, that's why they called it Blade Trinity. It was like we had Blade 2. You get to the third film, Trinity. It's like, oh, now it's about Blade and everybody else. It ain't about Blade. But it should have just been Blade 3.
And they made it silly. And the thing is, like, we just saw, with Blade 2, that he went up against the Blood Pack. Remember, it was a whole team that was meant to take him out. He took out the leader in 0.2 seconds. And he was like, y'all work for me.
They
Your
trained two
team don't
years.
mean
Nothing.
jack.
They
I'm
trained
Blade.
2 years.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right, man. And that's what I'm saying. It was like we get to the third film and it's like, oh, now Blade got a team. He need a whole
Right.
team. We need Hannibal. And I forgot the other girl, Whistler's daughter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Abigail. So see, and
And
that and
look,
that's the thing.
they was so determined to put her in it. Remember, Whistler said that his whole family died. And all of a
Right.
sudden now he got a daughter. He
Hey,
had
I was a
afterwards
It
and
ain't
all
a
kid.
this
long
here.
I
story.
was a
It ain't
small
it,
kid. I'm born in 1994. So whenever the third movie came out, I remember they said in the film, "Oh, Whistler had a daughter out of wedlock." My young ass Googled or looked up what is wedlock, because how does he like have kids all of a sudden? He never had, like, what are we talking about? Come on, it don't
it,
make
it,
no
it
Yeah.
sense.
didn't make no sense because, okay, not only did they ruin that, because in the comics, Blade is mostly solo. Sure, he's been with the Midnight Suns, and he more famously for Blade fans, he's been with the Night Stalkers, which is Hannibal King, who's supposed to be a vampire, and then Frank Drake, which is a descendant of Dracula. But aside from that, Blade has always been solo, aside from maybe a Jamal Afari who trained him in London, or somebody like Whistler. He goes out and does his own thing. In fact, he's so effective that at one point they thought that the Blade character was a whole team in Marvel Comics, but it was like, no, it's just this one badass dude that's taking out all these individuals. That's why you think it's a whole team, but that's how good he is.
Right. Hey, we got Dan Wood say Ali Blade dead on arrival. There's only one blade and there will always going to be one blade.
No,
Oh
wait.
yeah,
Now,
that
with
line
that
was funny.
said, Wesley may not want to sign up for a trilogy or something like that. So I think that they do have a proper way to bring Martial Ali into it. Still, I think that they should basically give him the Logan treatment, right? If y'all remember, at the end of the third movie, he released that shit into the atmosphere, and they didn't know if it would affect Blade. They said it may
Right.
even impact Blade. So why don't we do something where, just like how Wolverine and Logan, his healing factor was weakened. He needed that serum to really go ham and get back in his youthfulness. Why don't we have something similar where Blade
Okay,
was
so
impacted a little bit by what was released? Maybe he's still a daywalker, but he can only be in the sun for a certain amount of time. Maybe garlic and silver bullets do affect him to a certain extent. And I think that we should introduce Martial Ali in the proper way. Why don't we give them a Whistler Blade relationship? Well, how come Blade can't find Martial Ali in the alley feeding on a dog or a dead junkie, and he's gonna kill him, and then he thinks back to Whistler and how Whistler slaved him, and now that's
okay,
a proper way to introduce him
that's a
into the
lot.
fold.
That's a lot of stuff. Okay, so just to tackle that one at a time. Number one, uh, Blade is not Wolverine, so you should not give him a Wolverine treatment. That's first and foremost. Number two, when you talk about the fact that Wesley doesn't want to do it, it's based upon how they normally do their films, how they try to stretch stuff out for a 10-year period. What you have to do is film two movies back to back and let him know it will be done in a small amount of time, and then he can be done. Because if you do it the typical MCU way, he's going to be way too old by the time they try to even get to a trilogy. So it's all about timing and how you approach it. And then thirdly,
Right.
if you're talking about Mahershala Ali, and I said this like 3 years ago, which is the idea of, most humans, since they don't read comic books, they don't know about Jamal Afari, which is the jazz musician who trained Blade in the comic books. It was right after his mother got bit by Deacon Frost, and the rest of the sexual workers scared off Frost, and then Blade, as a child, he was wandering the streets trying to figure himself out. He saw a man who was getting jumped by vampires. He went over there to help him, and they took out the vampires together. And then he tells him, "Hey, I can train you and teach you how to hunt these things." So he spends years training them. And then when they get to the weapons, he notices that he's excelling with the blades. And that's how he got his nickname, Blade, because of how great he
Mm,
is with blades. So most
mm.
humans, they don't know that. They haven't seen that. If you want to, you can have Wesley Snipes be Jamal Afari training Mahershala Ali's blade. That is the perfect way to pass the torch if that's what they want to do.
So a
There are
master-sensei
narratives that can work.
relationship, just like he had with Whistler.
Correct, except that
Yeah,
Jamal
that's the
Farley
same thing I just said.
is,
Okay. And as far
but
as your first
but
point about he
Hey,
can't get the
I want to.
Wolverine treatment because he's not Wolverine, I literally gave an example with the serum. And actually, in the second Blade film, he does drink the blood and now he regenerates faster and gets stronger. So I'm just meaning him actually taking some damage and relying on real blood. Maybe
but
he
it,
has a
but
little
it's
vial of
still
blood
it's still
he got
too
to take
much
real
of a
quick so he can
copy.
really go
If
ham.
we
Because
want humans to
he is up there in
respect
Hey,
age.
Blade, but no, but
hey,
if
I
we
want to
want
let y'all
humans to
know.
respect, okay.
I want to let y'all know I wouldn't hit on the ban Lee because the only thing he keep doing is saying the same old stuff over and over again. He's done. He's done. Yeah, come on, man. We over here trying to have a conversation, and the only thing you could do is just bash the conversation. I don't even understand that. Who they
It,
get
it's
these type
it's
of
it's
people
it's
from?
it's silliness. Oh, but here's the thing. Again, I want humans to respect Blade and don't do nothing that reminds humans of Wolverine. Like I said, I don't like that. Blade needs to stand on his own. That stuff with the serum and everything. Number one, you need to disregard Blade Trinity because that movie was awful. So they shouldn't continue anything
But that's not
from
going to
that
be
terrible
disregarded.
movie.
They're not going to go back and retcon that unless you think they're going to retcon the whole third movie.
Okay, here's the thing though. If you look at what they did in Deadpool Wolverine, they already retconned that. There's no
They didn't
acknowledgement of
retcon it.
that
They
because
introduced
it
a
doesn't.
multiverse. That's two completely different things, and you know it.
No, no, no,
Well,
no,
I
no, no,
would
no.
say they
So
pretty much erased it. That's what they did. They erased.
yeah,
They
they
erased it.
erased it. That's how the multiverse works in the context of what they did in Deadpool and Wolverine.
But there's still a
So
Yeah, they
that
distinction.
stuff,
erased
A
it.
retcon has nothing to do with the multiverse. It has nothing to do with giving you a reason for why we're acting like that previous stuff didn't happen. A retcon is just a new producer, a new director, and you pretending like the other film never existed. What Marvel is now doing with the multiverse is a type of
Ryan
retcon,
Reynolds, and
but it's with a
Wesley
lot more
Snipes
thought,
have
a lot
already
more effort,
stated that
a lot
that
more
movie
finesse.
didn't work, and you don't need to connect anything to something that didn't work. So by in turn, all you
And
have to
Marvel didn't
do
do that. They
is just
connected the
all you
multiverse
have
with
to do
everything
is
that didn't work. They
continue
brought
from
up
Blade 2.
Wolverine Origins, Deadpool, and everything in between. Alexa, they
Okay,
even mentioned Ben Affleck.
but first off, though, when you talk about X-Men, especially in the context of the comic books, their continuity is all over the place. Blade, there's a lot more consistency with this storyline. However, it would be foolish to continue from something that was hated. You don't do that. That's not smart, especially when you look at the positive response for what happened with Blade in the context of Deadpool and Wolverine. You need to keep him on that positive stratosphere and not remind individuals like, you remember that awful storyline where he supposedly killed off the vampires? That makes no sense. You stay away from that
So,
crap.
so you said basically do what the MCU is doing, or I would say Fox, because it's kind of like Fox moved along as if X-Men Origins Wolverine never happened, and the Wolverine
Correct.
film. It was out. It was almost like they just moved past. like 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 that.
Right.
Like
And they,
when you watch
yeah,
Logan, you have no indication that he's been to China. I'm going to say Japan. You know what I'm
right.
saying? It's kind of like just act like they don't even exist. That's what you're saying, T.
Right.
Pirate.
And that's the
That's
traditional
exactly what
retcon,
I'm
whereas
saying.
what they did with
That's
Deadpool
their
is not a
way of
traditional retcon. That's a multiverse
retconning.
theory. They got a name for it
That
and everything.
that's their way of retconning. But see, the thing is that the reason why they had that scene, why Deadpool called out the fact that their multiverse stuff is trash, is because they're not using it correctly. They don't know what they're doing. But that's how you do that. You have a retcon and you use the multiverse as a reason to justify that you did that. So that way, when humans are like, well, what about this third movie? Don't worry about that. That was trash. That was a mistake. There's no reason that you should weaken Blade, because in the comic books, Blade gets stronger over time, not weaker. So that makes no sense. You don't want to make him feel like a Wolverine ripoff, the whole, well, because it worked with Logan, let's just do something similar with Blade. No, don't disrespect the character like that. Let him have his own storylines. He has plenty of them.
I think there are plenty of Blade fans that do not think it's disrespectful to see Blade in a older, weaker state. I think that lends to the realism. I don't know what's going on with the comics or what translated to film, but is Blade supposed to age, or is he supposed to be an ageless vampire?
Blade ages very slowly. Now he doesn't age as slow as Wolverine, but he ages slowly. So like when humans saw that he had gray in the hair, that's appropriate. But he will still live longer than every other human that you will see, because he's not
And
human. He's also
and it's
half
only like
vampire.
that. And it's only like that because he's not taking in real blood. He wouldn't
Right.
even look like that. That's the only reason why he's kind of on the aging spectrum, because he's not actually drinking real blood, which goes back to what I was saying about what Drake told him. Think about it. Blade was able to stand toe to toe with him, and he's not even drinking real blood. So
Exactly.
that's
So
why he was doing saying all of that.
right, and that's why I was telling humans,
But that's the third movie that you want to retcon and act
if
like he
you
never
don't read the
existed. So if we look at
comics,
the second movie, he had to land in a whole pool of blood just to deal with some D-level security guards, right?
no. It's not that he
No,
had
no,
to
no, no,
land.
no. You want to
No. It's
retcon
No,
the
he
not
first
that
needed
he
to
movie so
had
it
to
never
land.
happened.
He
In the
doesn't.
he
second
needed the
movie, did
blood
he
to
not
regenerate.
get hit up by the Nazi
He
dudes and
needed
have to
he
fall in
needed
a
the
pool of
blood,
blood
but he
to
doesn't
even
need a
deal with
pool.
all the rest of
That
the
was just
guards?
done for dramatic effect. Look, all
Right.
Blade needs is a couple of drops, but the pool thing was more dramatic and epic. But it doesn't take him long to regenerate. He doesn't need a whole pool. But see, this is why it's important that
Y'all need to
individuals
go to
that work
YouTube and
on
pull up
this
that
stuff,
scene on Blade
that
2. He
they
was struggling. He was on his knees. He was getting shot with a shotgun. And yes, for dramatic effect, he fell into a pool. But either way, he needed blood to even deal with that D-level Nazi and the rest of his security guards,
Right,
right?
because they had to drain them. They just like in part one, they drained Blade from his blood. That's why he had to. That's why he had to bite the girl in part one. He didn't
right,
want to
right.
bite her, but he needed the biter to regenerate. They had already
I
drained Blade out of his
I
blood and stuff. That's how you. That's how you weaken
this
him.
is true. Yeah, this is true. However, in actuality, he can regenerate a lot faster than that. See, when it came to Blade 1 and 2, they specifically created circumstances to make it more dramatic. Because the whole thing was, because the other Marvel material was so bad, they needed to come with the writing. Because back then, when it came to comic book material, I mean, it's still the case now that most humans don't read and actually know these characters. But back then, they didn't want to take the risk of something seeming too far fetched or too goofy. So it's like you need to come up with a narrative reason to where they can accept, oh, that's how he regenerated. Oh, this is how this happened. But as we have seen with all comic book movies, they change things because that's how it is in the comics too. So with MCU, because a lot of times they're more accurate. And if you look at what happened with Deadpool and Deadpool Wolverine versus his other two movies, he's way more accurate in the recent one. You do the same thing with Blade. For you come up with a reason why he came out of the void or he was placed somewhere else, he gets a couple drops of blood, the gray hair is gone. He's stronger and he's faster and he continues to stay that way to justify you doing multiple films. And that whole thing where all or most of the vampires is killed, you get rid of that silly crap because it makes no sense.
I don't
That's
think they
like
ever said
that's
all
like
or most
having
of the vampires were
Batman.
killed. They
That's
said we
like having
released the virus, but
Batman
we don't
and
know
you
what
telling the
vampires
audience
are
that,
going to be,
oh,
right?
he did away with most of the villains in Gotham. You don't do that. It makes no sense.
Okay,
But
did
that's
that
what it was
actually
going for
happen?
in
That's what I'm asking.
Witchmaker.
For KO, did that happen or did they leave that open and ambiguous? I don't remember them saying all the vampires are dead now.
Well, they
That
were
no no no
saying
no no
that
no no
the
no.
I'm asking
the
for KO
virus
with
was
all due respect.
eventually.
I haven't really
Well,
been able to hear from the brother lately.
well, they said that the virus was going to kill off all of the vampires eventually, which is why they was hunting that werewolves at the end.
Right. And that's the thing. So because that writing was atrocious, I'm like, so what they did was is they messed up the Blade character and everything around him,
and then they're like, let's just come up with a way to end this. So we're just going to have something that's going to effectively kill all the vampires. I'm like, that makes no sense. That's one of the many reasons why that movie was awful. You
Well,
got rid of
I would say this though, T. This is what I would say. I wouldn't give you a Blade film and try to desperately try to like just retcon anything. I would do exactly what that of Logan did, right? Not Logan's style, but Logan just went about as if nothing happened. Like it was like, okay, the X-Men, they act like the whole X-Men films didn't even happen. You know what I
right.
mean? Like
Yeah,
it was his
right,
own
right,
thing.
right.
I would just give you a Blade film starring Wesley Snipes, and I would kind of end it on the level of he's just out there somewhere. I wouldn't even kill him off. That's
That
how I
that's
ended.
But
That's
that's
how I
I
exactly
ended.
thought
what that's
Logan
what I'm
still
saying.
referenced the other X-Men movies, right?
Okay,
What would
but
you
no, no, no,
say?
no.
Yeah, I was
Here,
talking to
but
4KO. Hold on a second.
What would you
Logan
say,
still
Mike?
referenced the other X-Men movies, right? I mean, it wasn't as if
It
nothing
references
in the
the
past
X
happened.
Men, but it doesn't kind of like really and truly talk about X Men Days of the Future
Yeah.
Past.
It was
It
super
doesn't. It
small
don't.
Easter eggs, super small Easter eggs. For example, that whole, homestead that they were living on, where they had homie living in a water jug or whatever. One of the Reavers said that it was owned by a Japanese corporation. So, us fans, when we hear that Easter egg, we tied that to the one where he's in Japan, and at the end that billionaire heiress chick is helping him out. So, perhaps she helped him out by giving them that property. And that's how they connected that a little bit. But yeah, I thought they still dropped a little bit of Easter eggs in Logan that referenced the other
Well,
stuff.
maybe to you.
but
Well, maybe to
there's
you.
a
To me, when I
difference.
watched
See,
it, I felt like it was totally separate. Just
it
like how I
was
felt when I
totally
watched the
separate.
Wolverine.
An
Right, it
Easter egg
was
is an
totally
Easter egg.
separate.
The
There's a
average person
difference
ain't gonna see it
between
unless you're a
direct.
super nerd looking up Cinnamon Sins
Right,
videos and
right. Like
everything in
I'll be
between.
honest with you, I didn't know that corporation, Japanese corporation owned that. I didn't know
But,
that. I'll be honest
but
with you.
there's a difference between Easter eggs and direct connections, because a lot of those X-Men movies, they don't have direct connections. They have Easter eggs. You do that for long-time viewers to go, hey, that's pretty cool, right? Hey, that's pretty cool, but you don't do anything with it. The X-Men continuity is all over the place. That's why
It
Deadpool
is.
was making fun of it in both of his movies.
Somebody asked me, say, why is Gambit getting a movie? Well, you're gonna have to watch my video later on today that I have
I
uploaded.
don't see
I'll
that
talk about
happening.
that.
I don't see that happening. Yes, we
It
liked him in the suit,
might.
kind of, but I don't see us getting a whole movie of him speaking Louisiana Creole garbage. No, no.
Whoa, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa.
I can see it.
Hang on now.
I can see it. I can see it. That man did a good job. I don't know why people acting like he did a bad one.
They're gonna have to have
It,
subtitles.
okay, but so if you
Well, you
now,
gonna definitely have to put him with somebody else, though.
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
You
I
gonna
mean, but
definitely, yeah.
they are doing the mutant saga next, right? So from a planning
Supposedly.
standpoint,
Yeah. So they
right?
can have him,
Well,
be in another film, but I don't see him having his own standalone film. I don't think that would be profitable. We lining up to see Blade, not
you don't think
Homeboy
a
the Gambit.
Gambit movie would be profitable? Do you know Gambit stories from the comics at
So
all?
right now there's polls everywhere about Blade getting back in the MCU, not Gambit.
I understand that, but Gambit is a mutant, and they're working on bringing the mutants in, so that actually
right,
makes more sense
Yeah, so
than
I see him
than
right.
being
Blade.
It
one of
does.
10 mutants in a movie. I don't see him having his own standalone movie or his own trilogy. I just don't see that happening.
Whoa, 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 whoa! No,
No,
no, no, no, no!
I
Nobody's
ain't
talking
gonna say
about no
trilogy.
trilogy. We just want
No,
one Gambit movie.
no, now you
one
going too
movie.
far. You going
Yeah,
entirely too far.
No, no, I
yeah.
gave you both ends of the spectrum. I don't see him having one standalone movie, that's the lowest end of the spectrum, or having a trilogy, which is the highest end. I just don't see it. I see him
Well,
maybe being in some films with some other people, but a standalone
like
Gambit
like
film?
I said, if you know the Gambit character from the comics, he definitely deserves one movie. That's not even up
Just
for debate.
at least. And look, it could be an hour and 20 minutes.
What people
Like
Exactly.
deserve
for
from the
real.
comics versus what people who 99% of them never opened a comic book in their life are going to go watch and pay to see at the theaters post COVID.
Well,
Oh,
Two
yeah,
different
yeah.
things.
well,
You know why? It's the same discussion of the entirety of the MCU. Nobody knew those characters before those movies
no,
came out.
no. But see, what Deadpool and Wolverine has done is it introduced Gambit. Dude, when I go
Right.
on TikTok, all I see is the little Ooh, you know how long I've been waiting for this? I'm about to make a
Right, I'm
name
about
for
to make a
myself.
name for myself.
Everybody putting that up. Go to YouTube, go to TikTok, go to YouTube Shorts, go to TikTok, go to Facebook. Everybody just reposting that. They're showing you Thanksgiving food, like they can't wait for Thanksgiving, how they go feel. Mix a Gambit in, dude, because that's what I was saying to myself. I'm like, dude, Gambit
Right,
is blowing up.
right. Just
like
like
Gambit blowing
Ant-Man
up.
and
So you guys
Guardians of
think
the
that
Galaxy.
Gambit could get his own standalone film? That's what we're talking about, a
Just,
standalone film.
just
Yeah,
one.
Yep.
Just
just
because they was
one.
gonna give it to you before. Remember, they
I
was gonna give
think
it to you before.
that there's no chance of that happening, just like I don't see Elektra having her own standalone film again. I
Okay,
don't see
okay.
that
Here's
No,
the thing
happening
no,
though.
no, no. I understand.
The Electra standalone idea is dumb. Number one, if you understand how the character works in the comics,
Well, she
Gambit
already
is
got
one of
her
the most
film.
yeah, and also her movie was terrible. But Gambit is one of the most popular Marvel characters there is, so it's
in
appropriate
comic
for
book
him to
world,
get
right?
one over Electra.
Well, what you do is, Mike. What you do is you give Gambit a film, right? And you kind of like you feature a few of the X-Men in it. You ain't got to feature all of them. You know, you let Cyclops, Wolverine talk a little crap to him and stuff, and you just let him go home. You know, and that's what his story revolves around, what he's going through here in New Orleans. You know, with his
Right,
father and stuff like that. It's kind of personal. He got his own little demons. He
Thank
also
you
got
for
his
your
own
pie
little
hole.
villains and
Nobody
stuff.
was
And
yelling
guess
at the
what?
theaters when Gambit came on the screen. We was like, "Oh, Shannon
Hey,
got
look,
killed off."
I thought the same thing too. I said the same. Even in my video, I had said Gambit didn't get as much of a warm welcome as that of Blade, right? But as time goes on, it's like the conversation around him is starting to ramp up
And
as
there is a
well. And
conversation. I just don't think that conversation warrants the silver screen. I could definitely see them doing a TV show about the Void or something. You know,
oh my, the
Disney's been
TV show.
doing
No,
real
no,
shit
no,
job
no.
with their
hey,
TV shows, so this would be a great
and
way
that's another
to
thing.
bring back
Watches
some
those
TV shows that
shows.
are
You
actually
don't put
successful.
Gambit on no show.
No, you don't. But you never know. That might be another Disney Plus show.
Yeah.
You
Let's see
just never
Gambit in
know.
his role, but he don't deserve a own multi-$100 million film on the silver screen that is
No,
not
you ain't
going
gonna
to be
give
an
him that
Whoa,
overwhelming
whoa,
budget.
whoa,
success
whoa,
for
whoa,
sure.
whoa, whoa!
That's going
It
to be
doesn't
No,
a
no,
have to
no,
box
be.
office
It doesn't
gamble.
have to be hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't know why
no.
humans are
I
fixated on
think
one budget.
Matter of fact, let me see how much Deadpool and Wolverine cost. I think that film was only $100 million because the first Deadpool film was only 60. So
Because
let me
Gambit,
see.
the way that his powers work, you can make a Gambit movie
The
for
budget
100
on
million.
Deadpool and Wolverine was
Oh
$200 million.
yeah, this one here was
That's
higher.
because of all the money that they had to pay for everybody in that movie. But for Gambit, you can make a Gambit movie for $100 million. It
Yeah, I would
doesn't
say
take
$100 million
$200 million.
too.
And
Yeah,
I
cause see,
think a
Deadpool two
studio is
only
not
had
confident that they're
110.
going to for
So
sure
in other
make
words,
their investment back.
man, they didn't double Deadpool budget every film because the first Deadpool film had 60, the second one had 110, and the third one has 200. I didn't even know that. That's one thing I didn't even report on because I instantly thought that it was going to be low because that's what they was able to do. But
Right.
still, in all, $200 million, and look at all the characters you got in that film.
Exactly.
So you
So
got
it's
you got a
always
Gambit
different.
film, you wouldn't have to pay that much, right? You wouldn't
Right.
have to
Hey,
pay
it
that much.
don't matter if the budget was $1 billion. It's about what they get back at box office. They spent 200 mil. They got 1 billion so far, and it's still going up. So that's
Oh
a
yeah,
great recoup on investment.
Right.
yeah, that's a
But
great recoup
again,
on investment. No, I ain't saying nothing bad about it. I was just saying I didn't realize the
no.
budget was that high.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but
yeah, I
see,
didn't realize the budget was that high. Which in
all I'm
reality, I would say, hold on, T, I would say that that's not high, especially for a superhero film these nowadays. Damn, the Marvels cost 340. Thor:
right.
Love and Thunder was 320. Let
Yo,
me
don't
see who
start
else
with
had a high budget. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was
Hmm.
what I reported to you guys, 240, 250, 260,
What
something like that. So
by the time they
200
did the
ain't
whole
bad.
thing was almost close to 300 million. By the time they finished,
Right,
almost close to
right,
that.
right,
So and
right,
and
right.
and all I'm trying to say is when it comes to these different characters, the argument of I don't see this working or there ain't a lot of people that like this. I'm gonna be real with you. That's bullshit because the last 14 years has shown us if you do what you're supposed to do and with the trusted
Calm
brand of the
down, homie. That's not
MCU,
an argument. That's my opinion. There's two different things. Come on.
like
I'm
I
entitled to
said,
my
with
opinion
that
just like you
type
are.
of argument, then it doesn't work because the MCU has proven otherwise. So
Okay,
all you
let's
have,
see how
and
well this
also they
ages
have
for
the
you. Okay,
trust of the brand.
how long do you think it would take for them to announce a Gambit standalone film if they were actually doing it? What, a year, 2 years from now?
No, no, no,
I
no,
think
no.
they should
I
even do it
say,
sooner if they're writing off the magic of Deadpool Wolverine, right?
Okay, no, 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 no,
I
no,
would
no.
say,
See,
I'll say, give it a little while. I would say, just wait about a month or two,
Okay,
because
so
my
if we don't see any developments, any announcements of a standalone
right,
Gambit
then the
film, it's gonna
conversation
take
to go
sooner.
away.
Yeah.
Right, the
right. I'm
conversation to
not
go
saying, I'm
away.
not saying they're gonna do it. I'm not saying they're gonna do it, but I think that,
So your
because they're
opinion is the
moving
same as
into the
mine that they're
mutant
not going to do
saga,
it.
I'm just
Jabbar
saying
said,
because they're. Wait, go ahead.
Doobie Brata said, we're getting an Agatha Harkness, so we can get a Gambit. That's
Right.
what he said.
We getting the Agatha Harkness TV show, right? Or is it a movie?
Right, TV
Okay,
show. That's what he's
Okay, so
saying.
going back
again,
to the TV
Agatha
show,
Harkness
Disney needs to
deserves it.
boost up their
But
TV
but
show
but
roster
you
right
also
now. They're all
have to
shit.
understand
They're all
too.
shit.
If you're going to give it a TV show, you might as well give it a movie, because those TV shows budgets is extremely high. I did a video
Right.
on those budgets as well. I'm like, dude, I had no idea that WandaVision cost $200 and something million. That's a lot of
Right.
money. That's a
And
lot of money.
it is. And a lot of humans, they don't
That's
know how much they
ridiculous.
spend on those shows. They spend
I
some of those
didn't
shows,
know.
they
But
spend more
again,
than their
it's
movies.
not ridiculous in the grander scheme of things. Take the budget out of your mind. What it's about is the return on investment. How many people went out
But
and bought a
which
Disney Plus membership because WandaVision was on there? That's what they
not
care about.
many.
No,
That was at
a
the
Not
lot.
many.
No.
beginning.
Disney's numbers, their earning reports were going through the roofs. So many people signed up for Disney Plus when Mandalorian came out, when WandaVision came out, et cetera, et cetera. So these TV show plays aren't necessarily to
That
make
was
money
in
on the
but
big
that was
screen.
in
It's
the
about getting
beginning
people to
though.
sign up for the app.
So that was at the beginning of phase 4. They have lost the trust of humans since then. It's not in the same place. That was the beginning margin. Most of the time, humans are not watching those shows. That's why they've been underperforming. And that's why Disney has been losing billions. They've been making terrible decisions because they have the trust of the brand, but that trust has dwindled, which is why Deadpool and Wolverine is a juggernaut, because they finally made something for the fans after all this time of waiting. So you have to then earn the trust back, which is why I said Deadpool and Wolverine's not saving the MCU. You need several films for that. You need a slew to
Right.
get back to
You
where
need
you
some hits.
were.
Yeah, you do need some hits to get back to where you were. But back to the Gambit film thing. Is the only thing I'm saying is, dude, we don't know. We really don't know. Only thing we could do is ask. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not saying that it's happening. We're just saying, listen, we won't mind if it do. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
What
That's
I'd
all
rather
good.
focus on is
We
Blade.
don't mind
And I'm
it.
wondering,
Yeah.
I basically view this as two different sides, right? Either A, you want what the other dude on the panel is suggesting, just a badass Blade, like he's the 90s and he never missed a step, and maybe they use some CGI deepfake to make him look more younger or something, or more youthful. Or B, we get a more realistic Blade, a Blade that may have some weaknesses, similar to how they did give some weaknesses to Wolverine in the movie Logan. So what does the audience want? You know, there's many people watching right now. Do you guys want a Blade from the 90s, like he never missed a beat, and they use some CGI to fill in the gaps? Or do you want a more grounded and realistic Blade? Because honestly, in Deadpool versus Wolverine, he didn't come off as 90s action Blade to me. He did seem like, you know, he was a little older. He was still badass, but for me, he definitely showed his age.
Yeah, but the
Well,
vibe. Okay,
maybe.
so the vibe of the
I'll tell
character
you
was
what.
akin to the first two. So
I'll tell you what, for both of y'all, I wouldn't mind if either of them get done. You know, like, for real. And I mean that as in also Ali's and also that of Snipes or whatever. It's too long of a wait that we have been waiting for this character. And Marvel Studios haven't given them to us at all, man. It's like, dude, you announced this film in 2019. Now you got Wesley back and so on and so forth. Can we just get the character, period? You know what I'm
right.
saying?
And that's all I'm saying too. Like, look, all I'm saying is there are ways to do it, and then there are just frankly stupid ideas. Like, you don't need to kill him off. That just Don't do that. Like, I want them to go into the approach of how can we make Blade what he used to be outside of what just
Right.
happened. It's like, don't look at what worked in the past with any of these other characters. Focus on Blade. That's it.
My boy
I don't want
Trico,
I don't
Trico
want
about to
anyone
come up
coming
in
in the
here.
office.
Wait, hold on,
Like, I
hold
don't
on.
want
So
anyone
if they
coming in the
don't kill
office
Blade
saying
off,
that.
how does that work? If Blade's alive forever, you talk about just recasting him in the future, or what?
No. I'm talking about if they give him, like, if they give Wesley Snipes another Blade film, at the end of that film, you don't need to kill him. And because, see, that's the thing. They don't know how the multiverse works. You can then still do Mahershala Ali's Blade, and you can let everybody know that that was in a different universe. So it's non-consequential for the same reason that you can do a Gambit movie. That's how the multiverse is supposed to be used, but the reason why humans don't like it and they're confused is because they don't know how to use it properly. And
And
So
that's
it
another
also,
sounded like
thing
there's no,
too.
earlier me and you were in agreement that there are certain ways that he can pass the mantle to Marshall Ali. Now you're suggesting not passing the mantle, but just having Marshall Ali be his own Blade in a different universe.
we were in agreement when I said that there is a way that you can do it, but there's a difference between the ways you can do it and how Terrence wants to see it. You understand what I'm saying?
Who's Terrence?
Oh,
You're Terrence. My bad. I
yeah,
was like, wait a
yeah.
minute.
Hey, but you know something? While
He
we
calling us
talking about
humans.
the
He's speaking in the third
multiverse,
person. I'm confused.
while we talking about the multiverse, and I got you guys on, I want to switch topics here. How do you feel about Robert Downey Jr. coming back as that of Doctor Doom in the MCU? And also, how do you guys believe that it's going to get done? Personally, I feel that maybe there's a few ways they can go about this. A multiverse version, from a different universe. The Iron Man in the main MCU timeline didn't die, but he's corrupted now. Or Victor Von Doom could be a twin of that of Tony Stark, who was adopted by that of the Von Dooms. How would you like to see this done? We got Trico coming in here as well. So how would you guys like to see that done?
I have a lot to say, so I'm gonna let Mike go first because, like, I just have way too much to say about that idea.
Same
Yeah.
thing. Same
I'm
thing.
not going
I
to see
too.
that in the movies. I think no matter way you slice it, it comes out to cheap fan service and last ditch efforts. I think they are lying to us, and it is going to be either a Tony Stark variant or maybe the one where they're like college roommates and they switch personalities or switch bodies or whatever. I think it's going to be one of the obvious things that we think it is from the comic books. They have to lie. They have to tell us it's not that. But either way, I mean, it's just. I think it's cheap. I think it's distasteful. I think, they're just grasping at anything. They knew that Robert Downey Jr. was their cash cow, and now they're hoping to rebottle that magic. And that magic was just a few years ago. It wasn't even that long ago for you to be like, okay, I'm back now. Like, this reminds me of Jay-Z. Remember, he had the Fade to Black album. He said he was retiring, and then like a year or two later, he comes back, and we're like, yeah, nigga, I knew you wasn't retiring. It's just cheap.
All right, what's up, Trico? I see you done got in there. What's at it? How you feel about that?
Man, I have a lot of things to say, but first off, let me say congratulations to Deadpool Wolverine to finally reach $1 billion. The first
$1
MCU
billion
movie to make
bucks.
$1 billion since Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah,
And
been a while.
yeah. As far as Blade goes, bring back Wesley Snipes because this Marshall Ali thing is not working. I don't know
It ain't
what's
going
going on,
nowhere.
so you might as well bring Wesley Snipes back.
Yeah.
And then as far as Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, at first when they announced it at Comic-Con, I thought it was gonna be a Tony Stark variant, like we just said, as the Doom. But they actually confirmed he's actually the real Victor Von Doom, but just in another universe. He's gonna be actually coming from the Fantastic Four universe, which is say in the 1960s futuristic universe, and then he's gonna come over to the original timeline, which is the actual multi-universe when we get to the Avengers the Doomsday film.
Who's the source on that? Because I've never heard of a Marvel film revealing their plot years before the film comes out.
Well, they did say that Von Doom will be in a Fantastic Four movie, which has been confirmed to be in a different universe now.
Yeah,
They did say that. I didn't run that story, but I did read. I believe it was the Hollywood Reporter who had reported on it, but I didn't run the story on my channel. But I did read it somewhere.
yeah, they did mention it at
Listen, guys.
Comic-Con
While
saying,
there's a lot of rumors, and it is fun to look into different rumors and their credibility, we have to realize that this is a studio that lies to us. Wasn't X-23 just doing interviews saying she's not in the film? I mean, they have to lie to us. So no, I don't think
But
that any of
I
these
mean,
theories
they
coming
did
out as
show
fact
her
is really going to happen.
in the trailers though.
"Whoa,
So like,
you remember what they did with Spider-Man: No Way Home, when Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire said, "Oh, they're not in it, they're not in it," and somehow they show up. They don't want to spoil it for people.
well, I mean, technically they
Right.
did spoil X-23. I mean, even though Daphne King was like,
Yeah,
I'm
they
not in
they
it.
spoiled it.
Then
They
we get the
spoiled
next
that.
trailer and she's in it. But at least with
She
Toby
was
and
in it.
Andrew, they weren't in the trailers. That's the difference.
They actually CGI'd out Toby and Andrew. I
Right.
was like, wait a minute, that's the same shot I seen in the trailer.
Yeah,
And
that was the
okay,
international. That was an international trailer from Brazil. That's why. That was that little teaser
yeah,
spot.
okay. So you saying Trico that he will be that of a variant, which I do say make a lot of sense. I mean, he has to be that of a variant, right? I mean, come on, you're not going to dig Tony Stark up from the grave. You're not going to do that. And then I know some people say, well, how is it that he's a different person in a different universe? That he's not Tony Stark. Maybe there is no Stark in the Fantastic Four universe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's always been Von Doom.
Is anybody on the
Maybe.
panel lining up to go see that movie whenever it drops? Yes or no?
Yeah, I mean,
No,
it's an Avengers
I'm
film.
just waiting to
I'm
see
going.
Hold on.
how.
I got one yes from 4KO, and I think I heard a no.
no.
Okay,
Yeah.
and it's also a no for me. How about Terrence?
No, definitely
No,
not.
no, no.
So,
That Trico. That's
Oh,
Trico.
Trico. Okay,
Yeah,
Trico.
I'm.
yeah, no, I ain't lining up to see that. Like, so okay, uh, to go into this, because you were asking about RDJ coming back, right? So
Right.
this is the thing. I need to start going to these conventions so I can embarrass everybody there because they never know what they're talking about. So my thing is like, oh, this whole thing with RDJ is a stunt thing. It's a desperate move, right? Because their ship was sinking, and let's bring RDJ back as Victor Von Doom, and I'm like, oh, so you think that it's cute to take a what if storyline? What in the demon armor if Victor Von Doom was roommates with Tony Stark, and then they switch personalities and they become each other? I'm like, you should have did that for your what if animated show, that most people don't watch. You should have did it for that, because I'd have just asked him. I'd have been like, Kevin Feige, I have a question for you. Do you know who Superior Iron Man is? He's gonna say no. And then I'm like, so if you wanted to do an evil Iron Man, why don't you just do that? Like, most humans don't know about that, so they would have saw Tony and be like, oh my God, Tony is back, and have him just beat the crap out of Spider-Man and have everybody crying, not knowing what's wrong. It's like, yeah, you thought that was Iron Man, but that's not the Iron Man you know. He just looks like him. And then you properly build up the real Victor Von Doom. I'm like, they think they slick because they just did the Fantastic Four movie, and they're like, we're gonna put Doctor Doom in there. I'm like, he's gonna show up in the mid-credit scene, so that way you can do Avengers 5 and Avengers Secret Wars. So you made Doctor Doom a cheap replacement for Kang, who you just completely disregarded. It makes
Yeah,
no
I don't.
sense
I
to
don't
me.
like that neither. I don't like they
Like,
disregarded that King myself because I was one of the few that was interested in that concluding. You know, I mean,
right.
I'm sorry. I like what Jonathan Majors brought to the table with the character, man. So
And they invested a
he was the
lot in
best
that.
thing about Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania.
What's the sad thing is that the last 4 years there is no connectivity because they've been using the multiverse incorrectly. This is what happens when humans don't read comic books. So you had 10 some odd movies, 11 some odd shows, and Jonathan Majors as Kang was only in one movie, one show, a movie that most humans didn't even watch, Ant-Man 3, and only certain humans
Right,
watched
they
Loki.
didn't.
So they fell off from Loki season 1 to season 2. There was a fall off. So I'm like, if you didn't watch those, you have no idea who Kang is. At least with phases 1 through 3, when they actually cared about what they were doing and they weren't busy focused on agenda, They actually had, oh, there's the stones. There's this big purple guy named Thanos who wants them. Everybody was afraid of Thanos. Oh, you can't make him mad. Thanos is coming. I'm like, you mean to tell me that you have a villain like Kang, who is actually pretty cool in the comics, that travels through multiple timelines and dimensions and universes, but yet nobody has ever seen him or mentions him? It makes no sense. But that's what happens when you don't know what you're doing, when you're just throwing stuff at a dartboard because you believe that no matter what you do, the fan base will cap for you because they love the brand so much. They will justify why it makes sense when it doesn't. It just doesn't work like that. So it, like, that whole thing that they're doing with Fantastic Four, it's dumb. The female Silver Surfer, all that is dumb. It makes no sense. And then putting it in a different universe, I'm like, they're only doing that because of the multiverse. I have a feeling that they're gonna mess up the Fantastic Four for the 5th time. That's what's
I'm
gonna
not
happen.
going to see that movie. I don't know if any of you guys are, but I'm
Bro,
like, man,
that's
that's
because the Disney is fake woke. That's why I call it fake woke. That the woke that people say in today's society, they don't know what actual woke means. Woke was a black term that was made by us, and then you had these political and racist white people took it and use it as a political and nasty word to describe what today's society is. So I describe
Basically.
Disney as fake woke. So
well, I mean, whether someone wants to call it woke, fake woke, whatever they want to call it, the point is that it's trash because it's all about checking off boxes and
yeah, that's
repurposing
what
the
Disney
character.
about. They're about checking the boxes. Yeah,
But it also is important to acknowledge what Trico was saying, and that's modern day. The term woke has been demonized and ostracized, but that was something we developed
They've
at the
been using it,
grassroots, and it was something of
using it
empowerment
too wrong.
before the leftists got a hold of it.
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
I like it's like I said, like humans can feel how they want to about words, but what is true is that
Why
they've
can you
lost
stop
their
calling us
way.
humans? It's so odd. Is this how you communicate? I mean, I've never been on a panel with another man who keeps referencing us in the third person as humans.
Yeah, that's his.
Terrence
That's
is Terrence. That's how
He just seems so condescending. I'm like, nigga, are you an alien? Aren't you a human as well? Like, what's going on?
So when
you'll get used to it, man. Trust me. When I first met him, I was like, "Wait a minute, human." So you talking about us?
Hey, it's a long story into the chronicles. Of Terrence, but, you know, just in short, that's how I am. But
I'm not a human. I'm a divine
they
being
have
having a
different.
human experience. Now what now?
So it's just
And
that
we got
humans,
nerd
they have
culture
their
is toxic
opinions.
in there as well, you guys. I just let them in. Nerd culture is toxic.
Could I say one thing real quick?
What?
Can y'all hear
What's
me?
going on?
Okay, I'm talking on here. I love your YouTube channel. I've been watching you for years, but I completely disagree with you on the Blade, Wesley Snipes being Blade again. I feel like he's too old. Unless they're going to do like an Old Man Logan type of movie with Blade, I don't know if I want to see it.
Oh,
I
you
feel
go
like
T
that.
Virus, man.
That's what
They
Ryan
vote
Reynolds
against you,
gonna do.
T. They
That's what
get
Ryan
the
Reynolds gonna
votes
do.
against you, T. They get the votes are adding up to get you. Look, he wants the same thing. Mike
Here's
TV
the thing,
wants.
though. Okay,
Yeah,
but
that's what
mind
Ryan
You said
Reynolds
what?
gonna do.
no, well,
You said
mind
what?
you, I'm not okay. So if they do that, I want humans to understand this. No matter what route they take with Blade, I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
it as long as I like how the trailer looks. However, I do have my opinions and what I think they should do in respect for the character. But these are multiple types of discussions. But if they come out with the whole remember Logan, well, we're doing it again with Blade. Here you go. Then I'm like, well, as long as it's good, I
Of
just
course, they're
don't
not
think
going to
that that's
market it and package
necessary.
it that
But
way.
that's
Come
how
on.
I feel.
I feel like they should hire another guy to play Blade that's in his 30s, maybe early 40s.
And I
So
think
you want to
that
Blade for the
Welcome Back
long
to
haul?
Blade should be a movie to
Yeah, I
also give us
want
the answer
I want another
to
trilogy.
pass the mantle on to someone who's younger who can be Blade for the next 10, 15 years. Facts. I want to see Blade movies for the next
Yeah.
10, 15 years. Wesley can't do that.
Me too.
Well, that's
Yeah,
okay,
even
but
Wesley.
again, with the multiverse saga, you can have your cake and eat it too. They just have to know how to, use it. They're not using
We
it
will
properly.
not.
I'm like,
We will not get invested in that. If they say, "Hey, here's Marsha Ali. He's Blade, but from a different universe," we're not gonna get behind that. But if he's in the same film as Wesley, and if Wesley passes the mantle on to him, that's way different.
okay, so in that case, that goes back to what I said 4 years ago, which is if you want to do that, then you make Wesley Snipes Jamal Mafari, a character that most people don't know. You do that, and that
That
is the
makes no
way.
sense. So we're gonna make Wesley Snipes not Blade. He's gonna play another character in the movie, or he's gonna take
Again,
the
Yeah, that
role of.
sounds
if
terrible. That sounds
this
awful.
is again if humans don't want to see him as Blade. Remember, I came up with multiple scenarios of how you can make all of this work, because that's what happens when you have comic book knowledge. You can make every angle work, but
Bro,
it's all
comic
about
book
the
knowledge don't
execution.
matter. 99% of people go into the films do
Can,
not read comic books.
can I
The
interrupt him
best
real
way
quick?
to know how to
Can I
utilize
interrupt
these
him real quick?
characters is to have the knowledge. It
Go ahead.
absolutely
Go
matters.
ahead. I want to hear from
What
the
you
new
got
brother
to
on
Can
say?
this
I
one. Go ahead.
interrupt you real quick?
Go ahead. What you got to say?
First off, I was telling my friend this the other day. You don't have to read comic books to watch these movies because these movies never go with what the comic books do. The only
No,
movie
no, no.
I
I didn't say
ever
you have
saw,
to read them to
Let's not
watch them. I'm
interrupt the
talking
brother.
about the
He's new to
humans
the
that
panel.
make
He
but
them.
hasn't been able to speak. Come on.
but you keep saying, oh, you got to read comics or you got to know comics to understand what direction the MCU go. No, you don't.
Yes, when you're
They
making
never
the movies.
they never go
When
off
you're
the
making them.
comics.
No, when you're
They never
making
go off the
them,
comics.
no, they cherry pick. That's what they do. But when you're making the movies, it's different from a consumer. If you're making the movies, you should understand the characters and how it works.
You should.
You
Versus
don't
what
have to
they
watch
do
a
is
movie.
two
You don't
different
have to read a
things.
comic to understand that.
Okay, so
Yeah,
this is why they've been making the fans mad, and this is why they've been messing stuff up, because
The
all of
fans
their
ain't been that mad
problems
if they making
because
billions. Okay.
because all of their problems, the solutions are staring them right in the face. Like Kevin Feige
no,
said,
they're
I'm a
making
fan of the
they're
comics.
making
Kevin Feige said he's a fan of the comics, but yet he's doing the dumbest things.
Can we hear from the new brother on the
no,
panel?
they're making the fan base mad because every character almost has to be a female or it has to be a female lead in charge. It got woke gay stuff in the movies, and that's what's making a lot of people mad.
Okay, hold on. Let me interrupt for a second. So I don't know if you guys noticed. So they cast the Indian guy from the Eternals as Booster Gold. So let me ask you this question: for those who are not a comic book reader, this is for the general audience only. Who knows a Booster Gold? Nobody
I've
does.
never heard of him.
Nobody knows who
Most
Booster
humans
Gold
don't
is.
know
Let me
Nobody.
explain why. Because he's not a legendary. He's not well known. He don't have a lot of fans. So there was a time that you could switch up a character, like waist swap a character. Booster Gold is one of those characters. So I would say if it's not Superman, if it's not Batman, if it's not Wonder Woman, if it's not Blade, Black Panther, or Green Lantern's John Stewart, you cannot change those characters up. You cannot switch those characters because those characters.
Could I give you one question?
Well, my
Those
perspective
are
is
well-known
you never do
characters,
it.
but that the general
You never
audience
do
and
it.
comic
You never
readers
do it.
know.
You never.
Could I
you
add
never
one thing
race
to
swap
that?
or gender swap. Go ahead.
Go
What
ahead.
you got?
Could I add one?
Go ahead.
I don't mind race swap, but only if it's American race swap. I don't want them to race swap a white person, Chinese or Japanese, because there's no way in hell you go into their country and you seeing some black guy in their movie screen in their comics and stuff. So they need to take care of American.
They did that with Kingo though. They did that with Kingo and Eternals. That was supposed to be a Japanese character, and look what happened. They race swapped him. You never do that silly crap. Don't ever do it. But
Yeah,
if you want
The guy you're talking about, he that's the dude playing Booster Gold, Kingo, huh?
Right.
Yeah,
And
the Indian dude.
Yeah.
The Indian dude.
Camille,
Yeah,
Camille
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that, no,
There's a way to
no
change
Indian dude should
the
play an
race of a
American
character and do it
character.
appropriately. I mean, the new Captain America isn't a white man, right? But they did that appropriately. He was his own
okay, but
character. He
Sam
became
Wilson
Captain
is a
America.
You
different
gotta
character from
understand with
Steve
Sam
Rogers.
Wilson as Captain America. Yes, he was in the comics, but is he well known to the general audience? No, they know Chris Evans as
But Sam Wilson has been in the MCU for 10 years. And also Sam Wilson is a separate character from Steve Rogers. So
Yeah, that's what
Right,
I
Sam
he's
just
not.
said.
Wilson
You can
doesn't
have another
count as
character
a
become
race
another
swap.
character if you do it appropriately, and they can be a
Yeah, you
different
do it
race.
appropriately. Yeah, right.
Sam
But
Wilson.
what they saying is, you know, when it comes down to, oh, the guy's supposed to be white American, and then they change him into Indian, and
And shout
so on
out
and
to
so
Gerald.
forth.
Can
You
you
said they
please read
shouldn't do
Gerald's
that.
super chat? This is exactly what I was
I
saying. I don't know why
got him.
I
I
was
was
getting
about to
pushback.
get him. No, I'm about to get him. But you know, that's what he was saying. Like when it comes down to the race swap, they only have certain characters that you can do that to. But for the most part, many characters you can't.
Yeah, just never
Pretty
do it.
much.
Just stop. Don't ever do that. I
Just
don't want
stop
to see
it.
that.
Let me get Joe
What
a shout out.
is
Joe with the $10 super chat. Hello from Hawaii. I commented a couple of days back. The best option would be to show Blade struggle with both his human mortality after Daywalker. Then he becomes the teacher as Whistler. So that's that. Like I said, T Virus man, everybody said the same thing. They want to see
So
both Blades.
look, hey, I wanna see both too, but I wanna see Wesley Snipes more. And that's what I've been saying this whole time. It's not so much that I'm against it as much as I have my own preference, and that is coupled with the knowledge and passion that I have about these characters in the universes that they're a part of.
I think we
Right,
all agree with you.
right.
If Martial Law and Wesley are in the same movie, Wesley should get 80% of the screen time off rip. And then maybe at the end, it's that Whistler transition. You know, Wesley's going to be background Whistler. Marshall is now taking the mantle. But yeah, I don't think they should have equal screen time like how they did in Blade Trinity, sharing screen time with three
Why
different
does
people,
he
right?
need to be Whistler? Why can't he be Jamal Afari, who's a much better character?
I'm just talking about playing that same mentorship role as Whistler. And it sounds like this
Mentorship, right.
Mashallah Afari guy you're talking about also played a mentor role just like Whistler, right?
Absolutely, but that's what I want. I don't want if he's gonna be there, give him a new character because Whistler is associated with the older one. And if you're doing something that is done by Marvel Studios, and they often like to pull from the comic books more than anyone else,
Bro, we're
then
not
that's
talking
when you
about
can
making
bring
him a
in the
new
new
character.
character.
He's just gonna play a mentor role to a new Blade. That's it.
Okay,
He's still
so
Blade.
Well, that could
they
possibly
never
work. But see, check this out. But how do we know Ali's going to be up for that? See, that's the problem that we got to talk about. Ali probably will feel like, look, y'all been giving me BS for the last 5 years, and now you coming with this. See,
This
I
is why
think
it can work.
that is less likely to happen than a Gambit film.
No.
Like for real.
This is why it could work. Marshall Ali right now, he ain't tripping on no Blade. He just signed on to the new Jurassic World series. He
Jurassic
getting big
World
money with Scarlett
series.
Johansson in them. But I think he already shot enough of the Blade movie, and I think he would come back for a couple of reshoots to where he's in some scenes towards the end of the movie, and that sets him up for years in the future to release that Blade film that he was gonna do. But yeah, no, Marshall Ali right now ain't tripping on no Blade.
He definitely was for the last 5 years. He just mellowed out recently because he said many times that he's upset with how trash Marvel Studios is because they keep messing up. They can't even write a script for a character that's easy to write for. That's how you know there's some clowns over there. You can't come up with something with a dude that kills vampires with a sword. Are you kidding me? But you can rush out something as complex as the Fantastic Four, which are cosmic characters, and you could come out with that, but you struggling with a dude with a sword. That is
That's
so
why
freaking
he's
ridiculous.
right now filming the next Jurassic Park movie.
Well, yeah, because he's tired of that. He's been sitting around waiting on these clowns to do what they're supposed to do. Oh, we're trying to figure out how to do Blade. I
I
thought you
think it
said
was
you
meant
were
to
a fan
happen
of the
this way.
comics.
I don't believe in
They're liars.
coincidence. There's delays with Marsha Ali's movie. The Deadpool dude, Ryan or whatever his real name is, he wants to bring Blade back. I mean, I don't see this as a coincidence. Okay, things are lining up just right for us to get Blade back in another film.
Oh yeah, things are lining up right now thanks to Ryan Reynolds in a specific area. But the rest of that train wreck stuff, they're trying to course correct it. That's why they brought RDJ back. They think we silly out here, but I know better. I'm like, they some whole
So
clowns over there. And if they're not
I got a
careful, they're
question.
gonna ruin the films.
I got a question. So how old do you want Wesley Snipes to be to keep playing in these movies?
Okay, so what I would want is that if I were to go talk to Kevin Feige, silly ass, right now, I'd be like, look, you finally listen to Ryan after he pitched you like 20 ideas, and you see that it's made more than $1 billion, which then I would walk him through all the points that I've been making for the last 15 years. You need to listen to individuals that are smarter than you, that actually
Yeah.
know what they're talking about. So then I would tell him, look, because of his age, this dude is like about to be 62. What you need to do is you need to film 2 movies back to back with him to get rid of the fact that, okay, he won't want to stay here for the amount of time that you normally sign for your actors. And then in
Well, that's
that
why I say
second
give
movie,
him a duology. You don't need a trilogy;
right,
just give him 2
right,
films. You could get
right,
that done in like the next 3.5 years or so,
right.
3 or
And then I
4
would
years.
tell him,
But it will derail that of Ali's version. If you go Wesley Snipes, Ali's not happening. That's how I feel.
you're right, and
And
he
if you
probably would say that,
transition
and I
to
would
where
say,
Wesley
Kevin,
plays more of a mentorship role, even in the future Ali films, let's say they do several more Ali films after a smooth transition, we could see Wesley a little bit older, but in a mentorship role. And maybe once in a while he jumps into action and bails out martial or something. But, as him being the lead character for the next 10 years, I don't see it.
oh no, that'd be too long. See, Kevin would say something like that, right? He'd be like, well, I don't see him being here for 10 years. I'm like, no, Kevin Feige, 2 to 3 years to film the next 2 Blade movies, and then we can bring him Mahershala, because you ain't doing shit with him anyway. If you wanted to do it, you would have did it. Just like you
He
rushed
did it
out,
already.
just like you rushed out trash like She-Hulk and Miss Marvel and Echo and all that bullshit. Just like you put energy into that, I want you to do the same thing with Blade and stop playing these games out here talking about what you
Hey,
They
can
don't.
and can't do.
They don't care about black characters. They don't.
I
That
know they
it
do.
just
I've been
proves.
saying that for 20 years.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
don't
they
care.
don't.
They just pretend. The only reason why
look
they
how
got
long it
behind
took him to
Black
get your Black
Panther,
Panther. Look how
right?
long it took him to get your Black Panther. He should have been in phase 1.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
I was like, you can't do your Marvel universe without Black Panther. Now, I remember back then, all these humans were fighting me. The ones that don't read comics, well, they're not going to do.
Bro, I
It don't
remember
make
Wesley
sense.
Snipes wanted to do Black Panther before he did Blade.
I remember that too.
Yeah. He surely did, Trico.
I'm
That
glad
was
that
the
didn't
word.
happen.
You say you
You know
glad
what
he
a crime?
I don't think the technology in the 90s would have been there for us to get a good Black Panther in the 90s. I don't think so.
Well, they probably would have made it
I-
mostly practical, though.
Oh, absolutely.
It
They could have
doesn't.
So
made
Wesley
It doesn't
running
take that
around
much.
in a cat suit like Spider-Man.
Yeah,
It wouldn't take that much money for a Black Panther
and then Denzel Washington as Killmonger. Denzel Washington.
and
Well, look,
he
what they would
I
have
don't see
did,
it taking that much money
it
for a
would
Black
just been a
Panther.
Blade film. It would have just been a Blade film with him with a suit on. That's all it would have been. It wouldn't have been like the Black Panther film that we had in 2018. It would have been something low level. You know what I'm saying? You might go to a village or 2 or whatever. You
Crime.
ain't about to do it like that. Yeah, you weren't about to do it like that.
So
No.
instead of him being in a suit of vibranium, Wesley's in the 90s rocking a leather daishiki.
Right.
Yeah,
Let's go
yeah.
vibranium.
oh man, hey, Wesley was
Let's
the most
go
important
I am the Black Panther leader.
Yeah,
don't
let's
Get away
go
from motherfucker
vibranium.
trying to ice skate up to stay off.
Well, if we're gonna go correctly, at that time it would have been adamantium. Because vibranium, I believe, was only created because Marvel Studios didn't have the rights to adamantium from Fox.
Ah, true.
Yeah, they didn't have the rights because Marvel went into debt because they was making trash back then. You know, they don't like to talk
Right.
about that, but that's what happened, right? So my thing is that
Right.
when it comes to Jon Favreau, I like what he told Kevin Feige when they had their retrospective interview, and they were talking about the last 14 years of the MCU. He was like, there are so many fans out there that know these characters even more than you. I paused the video. I was like, that's me. I will make him look dumb as hell. Call up Terrence. I'll show you what time it is. Like they playing games about it. So they wait until they lose billions of dollars to make corrections, which makes them fools. You don't wait till
Yeah,
your
they
kids are
do.
thinking
They
to
do.
make corrections.
And that's unnecessary, man. That's unnecessary. This is ways for you not to lose money. And not to mention, you're doing too damn much. You got TV shows going on. You got this movie in development. You got that in development. Slow your ass down. This
Right.
Marvel should have never been TV shows on Disney Plus.
I've been
That's how
saying
I
that
feel.
too. Oh, that was a
all
They
I
should
know
have
is
never been.
there's a way that they can give us two things at the same time. They can let
to me
Marshall
that
Meeks
to me
do
that
the
was a
typical
mistake.
mantle, but they gotta
They
bring Wesley back in one way or another.
Somebody
They
got
have
to mute their mic because we got too much noise in the back. I don't know. I think that's you Mirror Culture is toxic. Somebody the mic got
You
too
think
much
it's me?
feedback. Some got too
You
much
think it's me?
feedback. Like it's got too much noise going on.
They
Let me
It
should
see.
have
sounds
Mute
never
your,
normal
even
over here.
recorded.
no, no, I said mute your mic right quick. Let me see. Maybe let me try to figure out where it's coming from.
Yeah, it was him.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
should
See,
have
you got too much
never
noise
recorded
going on in the back.
Hey, 4K. I'm not sure
Let me go out.
but if you go into his edit microphone settings, you can actually put on a reduced background noise filter on him.
Yeah. Do that. Nerd Culture is toxic. Yeah. Because you know what? I forget to do that myself, but I'm in the studio, so it shouldn't have too much noise in the back. I just heard it sound like music or something. I ain't wanted to, get on y'all nerves.
Does it sound normal now?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
boy, you
That's
sound
better.
good. Boy, when you move to it sound like you went somewhere else.
Let
Yeah.
me switch up.
That sound good. Hey, go.
Hey, as far as the Wesley and
I
Marshall
went
Lee
to a
thing, there's so many
galaxy far
different ways they
away.
could do it. They could have Deadpool in the film for a second, and Deadpool takes Wesley out of the void and puts him into another universe, but there's already a Blade in this universe, and it's Marshall,
Hey,
and there's some conflict there. I mean, it's
could
so
be
many
that
different ways they
too.
can do it.
Hey, there's so
Oh
many
yeah,
ways they
yeah.
can do it, but look, I tell you what, they got to get it done. We as fans, we can speculate all we want. We can tell these people what they want, what we want. I'm sorry, but they have to get it done. Like for real, we
Yeah.
wouldn't be having this conversation right now if Marvel Studios would have already given us that Ali Blade film.
And,
This
and
wouldn't even
Kevin
be a
Feige,
conversation.
Kevin Feige, not only is he a fool, but he has fools around him. Because when you come out in an interview and say something like, "Oh man, I'm glad I hired director Chloe Zhao because the Eternals is the best MCU movie we've seen thus far," I'm like, somebody put something in his Kool-Aid because he's on
Mm,
some serious drugs to say
That shit
something
was
like that.
ass. That movie
He's
And
was
I'm
a
like,
so
it
damn
doesn't.
lie. That movie was the worst. He's a
I
liar.
know, but
Kevin
that's how
Feige's a
you know.
liar.
And they had
I
A-list
know, but
actors.
that's how you
All
know
of the
you
actors
fell
of the
off.
Eternals, I rock with them. They did as best of a job as they could, but just the director, the direction. And correct me if I'm wrong, was that a female who directed that or no?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely it
female
was.
director, yeah.
She did
Oh
she did a
Lord.
small independent film that was pretty good. It was boring, but it was pretty
I think
good.
she won an
But
Oscar
then
for it too, huh?
Yeah, she won
right,
an Oscar,
but
yeah.
but then it was like, oh, let's get her to do a comic book film. Like, no, that's very different. I got a bad feeling. And then she said in an interview, you know what? I've always liked the DC movies. And I'm like, oh, so that's why you want to do the rip off Superman Icarus, because he's like Superman. So it was just everything that was being said. And then they race swapped most of the characters. They were changing the gender. I was like, you don't have that many Eternals in one movie. You can't tell their story
Right.
that way.
You could have just had like 4 of them, 5 of them,
Right.
something like
Because
that.
that's how it is in the comics. It was a couple and then they came together and then they messed up the deviants. I know most humans don't know it, but they don't understand that they could have got something great, but they gave us trash. It's
Right.
unfortunate.
And listen, I
Right.
want to say this: like, I'm all for diversity. I'm all for people, like getting opportunities because I'm in the filmmaking business. Like, I understand that. But when it comes to making a movie that has like $3 million in the budget on the line, and just give it to someone that doesn't deserve it or who's not ready to be in that position, and just to see what they do with it, that's trash, and you're gonna make it lose money, just like the Marvels. You give it to Dania DaCosta. Now, granted, the fact she did great with Candyman, that's good. But you're gonna give it to her with a Superman movie who has no knowledge about the character, who has no knowledge, never reading the comic book. So, and you just gonna give it to her? Like, That's his
Right.
That's how they do.
That's right. And that's why they've been firing all these people, because they were the same ones in all their interviews. I've never read anything. I don't care about the comics. They said these things and they kept hiring them. I was like, what did you think was going to happen? You think some clown that doesn't respect the source material and openly says that and says that it doesn't matter is going to do a good job? You must be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It don't make no sense.
It's better to hire
All they,
people that's familiar with the territory they're about to step into. That's
Right.
how
all
I
they're
feel.
gonna
Or
Especially
at the very least, have these silly ass humans do their research before they start working on something.
Yeah,
right,
even
right.
Kate Blanchett, who just did Borderlands, she bought herself a PS5 and the Borderlands game to play the games as to understand her role as Lilith in Borderlands.
I'm
See, I
glad
didn't
she
know
did
that.
that, but that movie is garbage. But I'm glad
Yeah,
she
it
did
was
it.
garbage. It was garbage, but at least Kate Blanchett did her homework about the movie.
And that speaks
Right.
to
And
a sad
that's
matter
awesome.
where like the
That's
higher ups
rare.
don't do their homework. I was watching an interview with John whatever who played the new Punisher, and he even said himself that he had to go to like LA comic book stores and New York comic book stores to read up on the source material. And I feel like they're doing that one part because they want to get into character, but second part because the studio heads aren't giving them proper direction. They're kind of leaving it up to them. They're like,
Right,
hey, this is your character.
right,
They're from a comic book. Go. Right?
And that's
right.
why they're trash. Like John Bernthal said, the only way I'm coming back as Punisher is if these silly humans don't mess up the character. None of this watered down kitty shit where he's talking and behaving in a way that he's not supposed to. And I respect him for that, because most of these actors, they show up for a paycheck. They don't know, they don't care, just like those in charge of the studios. They don't know and they don't care.
They
That's
don't
why
care.
we've been getting trash. That's why that happens.
Right. Hey, look, my battery is getting low, but there's one more conversation I want to have before I leave out of here today.
We ain't got to go home,
Jonathan
but we got to get out of here,
Majors.
huh?
Jonathan Majors. Yeah, gotta get you. That's how we talk down here, baby. We don't say things correctly. Trust me. When I make my videos, I try my hardest to sound proper for you guys. Like, for real. You just don't know. Every video I make is like the 13th try. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
This brother got
But I
it.
want to
Nothing
talk
wrong.
about
There's nothing wrong
Jonathan
with
Majors.
it.
Yeah,
Hey,
baby,
4K.
but what you
4K.
say? What's
4K.
up?
I understand your pain because I'm a YouTuber too, and
Yeah.
it takes me. I have a like a speech impediment, so it takes me 10 to 15 times to get that video right. So I
To get that
understand
video
what
right.
you're saying. Yeah, to get that
There's
video right.
Nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, what to me, there's something wrong with the humans that try to act perfect, but you can dissect the fuck out of them and find a bunch of other flaws that they jacking you up about.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. I got this.
And I was
I
like,
got this southern accent.
how you gonna keep Robert Downey Jr.? How you gonna keep Ezra Miller, who had done some shit in their past, but you gonna fire Jonathan Majors for something he was innocent for? Like,
And that's what I said too.
That's the bullshit.
And it was a misdemeanor.
Whoa, with all
It
due
was a
respect, the brother got
misdemeanor.
convicted on a misdemeanor charge. So yes, he did.
Right.
You can't say he was innocent, but that's just a misdemeanor. Robert Downey Jr. was snorting coke off strippers' asses. Ezra Miller was beating bitches up.
Talk about talk about the charges. Unintentional. Both his charges is unintentional. How you gonna convict somebody of that, man? Come on.
You know what? Oh, like, to me, he's innocent. I don't care what any human says. This man was
Exactly.
running.
He is
Like the
innocent.
Flash. He was running like the Flash from a female. I have never seen that before in my life. And he was proven
For real.
He's guilty. And that, but the female, she got away scot-free, mind you. So Marvel Studios, they will say, well, we waited the longest. But then as soon as something happened, you broke out. It's because you have no spine, for the same reason that they got rid of James Gunn. They pay attention to Twitter too much. And when they hear humans getting all emotional and in their feels, what happens? Oh man, we got to do something. They give you these.
Reason they got rid of Gina Carano, right?
Bro, that's
right.
No, the reason Gina Carano got fired because she didn't want to be led into the woke mob that was coming for like, oh, like, what do you go by? What are your pronouns? And Gina was like, no, I'm not doing that. That's how she got fired. But
she was also
she made a joke, right?
Say like, oh, like, is he gonna be guilty? Oh, he's guilty. Oh, let's get on the phone. Fire that nigga. You fire. Vince McMahon his ass. Vince McMahon is
Yeah, but see, he
And
didn't
humans,
deserve that,
humans
man.
don't have no sense of humor. They can't handle
Because he
jokes.
gets found. But look, he got found guilty, even though the one witness said, listen, she slapped the hell out of him. And from now on, he tried to get away from her. He put her in a car, tried to get away from her. And I'm like, okay, where her charges at? Where's her
Right?
charges?
She ain't got none
Where
because
her
because
of
they
charges
don't
at?
listen.
Good
They
guys.
only
We
gonna
also
listen
do
to
have to
black person.
understand
They're
that he
not gonna
was
listen
not
to black
convicted
person.
of anything that
Hey.
happened during the running away from her video. What he got charges on is the next day when the cops found her unconscious in the closet, and she's saying he did it to her. That's what he got the charges from.
he shouldn't
No,
have got charged for anything.
wait. I gotta correct you on that. No, he got charged for picking the girl up and putting her back in the car. Go look at it. That's what they charged him with. They say that
Yeah,
he unintentionally caused bodily harm from her. If that was the case, what you talking about, then that's not unintentional. He just beat the girl up.
bro. That's why I said like he should have never touched her. He's just like just run away, just go away.
Well,
He
that's what
should
he
have
was
never
trying to
touched
do,
her.
but she was grabbing him. He trying to get away from her, and she just grabbing him. So he picked her up, put her back in the car, ran away. She sprint down the street behind him.
Oh,
That whole
oh,
situation with her in the closet, that was just her trying to get attention. That's
oh,
all
Yeah,
that was.
Hey,
exactly.
hey,
Like
y'all know what's
he
crazy?
didn't do anything
Y'all know
wrong.
what's
As soon as
crazy?
you touch her, oh, they're gonna find you guilty. That's how
You
we
gonna
live
get
in
Y'all,
white
guilty.
America. In a white America.
y'all know
Hey, my
what's
boy,
crazy?
go ahead,
Hello?
go ahead.
Y'all know
Yeah, I'm
what's
listening.
crazy? I got my YouTube channel deleted for talking about how Jonathan Majors was innocent. Do y'all know a YouTuber named Tyrone Magnus?
oh,
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I do.
no
Yeah.
time.
Tyrone Magnus said this man was basically guilty, and this was before the verdict came out. I called Tyrone Magnus an Uncle T. I'm not going to say the whole word because that's how I got my YouTube channel deleted. But I called Tyrone Magnus an Uncle T. He got my YouTube channel deleted. I called him that because he said Jonathan Majors was guilty before the verdict. I'm like, what footage did he see?
You
What
What
footage
do
you
you
know
did
mean
he
he
see
got
to
your
say?
YouTube channel
I'm
deleted?
glad you brought
Because
that
I'm
up
also a
because
content
I
creator.
have
that
I'm
was a
pretty
lot of
familiar.
humans that did that.
I have a YouTube channel called Nerd Culture is Toxic. I had almost 1 million views and over 2,000 subscribers. I got my YouTube
Hey,
channel deleted because I called out Tyrone Magnus because he said Jonathan Majors was guilty, and I called him an Uncle T, and my video was going viral, and
damn.
he hated that.
Yeah,
So you
No, no,
said
yeah,
no.
that's
Wait,
the
wait, hold on,
Tyrone
hold
thing.
on. I
reminded
don't
A
think
you?
you
lot of
understand the question I
humans,
just
a lot
asked
of
you.
You
humans
said what?
turn their
Why did
back on
YouTube
Jonathan
terminate your
Majors.
channel?
Of
Did
course.
they say it was hate speech? Did
They
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 say
said
you violated
they
a community
they
guideline? Did they say it was harassment?
they,
What was it?
they said I was bullying him. How am I bullying Tyrone Magnus when this dude is like 6'3", 6'4",
Okay,
and I'm
sir.
like
All due
5'4"?
respect, this still does not make
Okay,
sense. Even if you get a harassment and cyberbullying community guideline strike, it
Well,
takes 3 of those strikes for you to have your channel
Well,
deleted.
look, what's
Tyrone
crazy
Magnus,
about it is
Tyrone.
they gave
You
me
said
a
what?
warning, like on my EDP videos. They gave me a warning. They told me that it could possibly be that of bullying, and they gave me the opportunity to delete it. They didn't give you the opportunity.
they don't do that
No,
all the
Tyrone.
time though.
Tyrone Magnus is
Oh,
a huge. He's a huge YouTuber. He probably knows some numbers to the YouTube studio and say, "Hey, take this
All right,
channel
all right.
out of
Now
here."
we're getting into conspiracy theory realm, brother. As
yeah.
somebody who's been on YouTube for 2 years, and I make the most salacious, contentious content on YouTube. I'm exposing people on some CoffeeZilla type shit, right? I've dealt with 5 lawsuits, 37 copyright
5
violations,
lawsuits.
4 community guideline strikes, and my channel is still here. So I'm very knowledgeable on the rules and the regulations. This is the way it works, and this is why 4K had a warning.
But
The first time you get flagged for harassment or cyberbullying, they give you a warning. The second time it happens, they give you a community guideline strike. And if you get 3 community guideline strike in a 90-day period, they terminate your channel. So I don't know what the brother means by
but they
That
didn't
that
do that for
that's
me.
that
They
that's how
didn't do
it
that for
works.
me.
That's
You
how
should
it
have
works
to have
most of
I
the
had no
time,
3
but
strikes for your
strikes.
channel
sometimes it
deleted.
doesn't.
I had no
Sometimes
strikes.
it doesn't.
I had
This
Right, he
is
said he
why
had no
no
you
strikes.
can't talk
strikes.
shit about to Tyrone
Yeah.
Magnus. You can't talk shit to Neurotic. You can't talk shit to Geeks and Gamers because if you do, it's gonna look bad for you, and they gonna think
Oh
you're
yeah,
in
yeah.
the wrong.
The rules are the
Hey,
rules until it's
I didn't care.
convenient for them to not follow
I
them.
went, I went at, I
Exactly.
went at Neurotic and I went at Geeks and Gamers because I did not like what Ryan and RK Outpost said that he hated that all the black people in the Batman was bad, good, and all the white people in the Batman was bad. And I'm like, look, bro, that ain't what you supposed to be talking about when you judging the film.
Oh,
And your
oh.
channel didn't get
Ty-
terminated. Go figure.
No,
Okay,
Tyrone
but
Magnus is better
it's
than both
not the
of them.
same for everyone. It's inconsistent because when you have these big YouTubers, they often break the rules, but they're not gonna get rid of them because they make them something called money. When money's involved, most humans have no fucking integrity. They will let shit slide that they punish others for. That's how it works. There ain't no
right.
100% in
I get
any
where you're
But
coming
system.
from. I'm just
but
saying
I'm
the brother on the on the bottom of the panel, what he's saying just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, so you're saying that a black YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers is worried about a YouTuber with 2,000 subs, and he's pulling strings
I'm
behind the scenes to get someone with 2,000 subscribers terminated off YouTube.
That's
That seems a bit
personal.
what
far
I'm
fetched. That seems a bit
I,
far fetched, my brother. I'm just saying.
That's
it sounds far fetched, but this is what happened. Then I made a video lying and said I had sex with Tyrone Madness' wife. He made a response video with him laying down next to his wife. Like I can show y'all proof. So
No,
he
Hey,
knows about me.
we got
I'm
we got
not
another ten
downing you
dollar
because
super
I know.
chat. We got another $10 super chat from Gerald Davis, man. He said, to have a successful movie saga, you have to answer the questions within the story. If executed properly, the fans will return with their butts in seats. Notice K-dramas figured that out Squid Games. That was pretty good. He be coming with it. Him. Appreciate you, man. You definitely support the channel. But back to you, nerd culture is toxic. So you
Yeah.
saying that you was beefing with Tyrone Magnus, and that's how your
Yes.
channel got deleted.
Yes. Yes. And
Oh, damn.
that strike, I didn't have any strikes. That they gave me one strike. They said I was bullying and took the channel down. I had no
Wow.
strikes.
I mean, that's why we all got to be careful, too. You know, a lot of times we make content on this platform, bro, and we don't know if they're going to come at our top or not. I really don't. I try my best not to cuss. You know, I try my best not to get too personal with other people. I just try to attack their opinion if I'm going to cover their story or what they said, and not so much as them, because they gave me that warning for EDP 445 saying I was bullying him, when in reality I was really just going in on him. He had no business over there at that little girl, trying to meet up with that little girl, and I see they let his ass back on the platform too. He got a new channel called Big Cheese.
Oh, I'm gonna say this because number one, like I'm gonna do and say whatever I want, regardless of how humans feel. Let them come at me. A lot of times they don't listen. They only listen when you say what they want to hear, and then they will disregard everything you say. So with me, it's never about agreeing or none of that crap when it comes to conversation. I conversate because I like to. You know what I mean? That's why I've been
Yeah,
coming on
that's
these
true.
streams talking to you. So it's never
There are some
about that.
people who are afraid to get canceled. Who afraid to get canceled?
Right. And that is that fear that's in most humans. That's why they do and say the things that they do. And they try to align themselves with other humans that have the same thoughts. But that puts you in a bubble and it keeps you limited. In order to grow and to get smarter, you got to be willing to face everybody and not lose your skin over it. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, though, you said, how do I feel about Jonathan Majors?
Right. How do you feel about it?
Okay,
He's
so
innocent. That's how I feel.
yeah,
He innocent.
to me,
all of us
I
agree
feel
that
he's
he's
innocent.
All of us agree.
I feel he's innocent, and it's really sad that they wasted his talent as Kane. He should have been a bigger presence, and it's even sadder that Marvel Studios is just as spineless as the other movie studios, and they got rid of Jonathan. Everybody disowned this man before the trial even happened. It was like, this man is a monster. I knew him years ago. He's a monster, and this and that. He was on top of the world, and the whole world came for him to knock him off. And those of us that were at the bottom trying to support Jonathan and keep him from falling and hitting his head on the cement, there weren't enough of us doing that. And that's what I find to be
Yeah.
really sad.
Yeah,
Really bad.
yeah. All right, man. My
Could I
my battery. What you about to say?
could I put a conspiracy out there real quick?
There you go with that.
I think they fired Jonathan Majors on purpose because people was complaining that his character was not that good, and they wanted to find another big bad, and they was desperate, and they used Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. I think they were
Well,
desperate to
ain't
try
no.
to save the
Well,
MCU.
that's not no conspiracy. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what
Right.
Yeah,
happened. That's exactly what happened.
And for
There ain't
me,
no
I would have
conspiracy.
actually
It
cast
happened right before
Robert
our
Downey Jr. as
eyes.
Dr. Doom. I would have cast Cillian Murphy, the actor that was the villain in
That's what I
James
said.
Bond Skyfall. I would have casted him or one of those two. That guy
Right.
was Cillian Murphy as Dr. Doom.
Killian Murphy, after his Oppenheimer thing and what he did in Peaky Blinders, he would be a great Victor Von Doom, not no Robert
Yeah, he
Downey
would
Jr.
be.
because they're trying to say they movie studio.
Right. All right, man. I got to get up out of here, you guys. If y'all want to tell all the viewers where to find you at on your channel, you can go ahead on and do that. Trico, you got a channel you want them to get to? What's happening?
Yeah, it's simple. Just find me on at Trico Fullerton. It's very simple right there. You can follow me on there. I got a podcast that I normally do, other videos, short films that I do. Yeah, just check me out.
Right. Nerd culture.
check me out at Nerd Culture is Toxic. I do rants, Marvel rants, DC rants, Star Wars rants. If I see anything that's feminist, woke, or gay, I call it out. And then
Mhm.
if y'all don't believe me on the Tyro Magnus, look up the video I did said I had sex with Tyro Magnus' wife, and there's footage of Tyro Magnus responding to what I did. So
I
check
got
that
you.
out.
And T Virus, you don't need no damn help. You almost got 20,000 subscribers.
Check this out. Before I get into that, I just wanted to quickly say that it's always a pleasure to talk with you and anyone else that comes on the panel. I always enjoy the conversations. To me, it's all
Right.
positive energy. I appreciate all of you, but definitely you, because like I said, I've been here from the beginning, man, and I'm just happy where you are. Now, with that said, you can find me on T Virus Terrence. I recently passed up 24K, and it's one of those things. Because it's just a constant battle. Man, I didn't lost 8 channels due to humans telling me I can't say and do certain things, but here I am. I guess the 9th time is the charm, man. So I'm already beating out most of the competition, but humans have helped me, and I appreciate it. So as many humans have been after me, there's way more who support me, and I'm grateful. And I got 2,000 videos scheduled to drop for the rest of this year, man. I've
Bam.
been saying from the jump that this is the
Content
year of
creator,
Terrence.
baby.
Yeah, this the year of Terrence. And I'm gonna try to make it happen. But I appreciate you and everybody else that's been kind to me. I really do.
Right. Appreciate it, man. And then Mike TV had to step away, you guys, but you can find him also at Mike TV. He's on YouTube. He's pretty much doing the same thing we all are doing here today. So follow him as well. But appreciate y'all for stepping by, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
The goats, bro.
All right, thank you. All right, let's go. Let's go. See y'all later. All right, man. That's the live stream for the night. Now it's time for me to go have a little time with my wife. I appreciate you all for stopping by to the 4KO. And also, I will be clipping this live stream. So don't call it repetitive when you see some of these videos kind of being what you already seen. But I just like to do that to give everyone else out there a voice. Thank you for tuning in to the 4KO. And always remember, let the love on down roulette.